All right. I think we're live. I think we're good. My Discord overlay is not working properly, but we're just going to go with it. So welcome to the stream, everybody. We are doing this isn't necessarily like a tactical roundtable. This is more so just talking about the new content that's coming tomorrow in the new title update 4.0 update. We do have the man, the myth, the legend, G Money Mozart here with us again this evening, though. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. What's going on, everybody? What's up? Hey, happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it. I don't think like we can do. I don't think I can do live streams anymore without my wingman. It's just so much easier, and most of the people in chat know who you are. So,
we're a force to be reckoned with now, man.
yes,
That's it.
yes. So, in the live stream tonight, guys, the gameplay that you are actually currently watching at this very second is not from post update. I threw a couple of short clips in there with the ghillie suit without the ghillie head because I wasn't able to put as much gameplay in the live stream tonight as I originally wanted to, because I got to keep some of that for you guys to see on the YouTube channel. I have a few really cool, insane gameplays with a couple of the new character skins as well as the ghillie suit that I'm saving for YouTube. But there is quite a bit of new gameplay in here with the ghillie suit, the full ghillie suit, as well as the M4A1 survival. We do have some gameplay of Valkyrie. We also have some gameplay of Nock, two of the Rainbow Six Siege operators, as well as a little bit of gameplay with just kind of like a custom outfit with the Skull Balaclava and the MDR that you guys are going to be seeing in here as well. I don't know how long of like a gameplay loop that I have. It's probably at least an hour. But after that, you guys might see it loop back around to some gameplay that you might have already watched. But I promise you, throughout the rest of the week, there is going to be an insane amount of really cool gameplay on the channel. And maybe me and G Money are going to be doing some live streams later on in the week, playing co-op. So pretty much completely negating the new update by playing in co-op.
Yep.
A Squad is an old man now. Oh man, G, hit me hard. Hit me hard.
welcome to the club.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Ruben, yeah, Nock, dude. I'm gonna say this real quick. I just actually mentioned this to G before we started the live stream, and after, like, the ghillie suit is cool. The Valkyrie skin looks really good. It actually looks better than the one in Wildlands, but I have to say that I don't know if I can play with any other skin moving forward in Ghost Recon Breakpoint than Nock. Because
Oof.
that skin is so, it looks so good. There is a little bit of bugginess with like the little medical patch, like down like where the tramp stamp, I guess you could say, would be, but like everything about that skin is just, it's good. It's good. And also for everybody in the chat that's gonna be asking, I'm 32. I'm 32 years old. G says that's an old man, so we're just gonna roll with it. So some guys in the chat here, is the Mark 18 good? Yes, it is good. I would honestly put it on par with the one from Ghost Recon Wildlands. I do have to say, for those of you guys that want to see gameplay of the M4A1 survival, there is some gameplay in here, and I believe some of the gameplay is wearing a ghillie suit, so it's actually kind of hard to see the weapon in that third person over the shoulder camera because you got this massive bush costume on. But it is the fastest shooting assault rifle in the game, bar none. It has the fastest rate of fire of any AR in the game, and you go through that 30 round mag extremely fast. So make sure you guys are tapping your triggers. And Stabby McStabs coming in with the $20 donation, and G coming, man, dude, coming in with the $5 dono as well. Stabby McStabs says, "Happy birthday, man. Hope you had a great day. And G Money have inspired me to try and give this YouTube thing a legitimate try. New
Awesome.
logo and video intros and all. Awesome. Heck yeah,
That's what I like
dude.
to hear,
Heck
man.
yeah."
Good stuff. Good luck, bro.
And A Squad, who is your favorite YouTuber and why is it G Money Mozart? Oh my god, I'm gonna sound like a total noob. Was it Gamer1337 or 19? What was it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
Gamer1337.
Yeah, Gamer1337 is my favorite YouTuber.
Agreed. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. We need to see more of him.
What is the RPM of the M4A1 Survival? Well, whatever the fastest, I don't know. I don't know the exact like rate of fire, but it clearly says in the weapon's description that it has the fastest rate of fire in the entire assault rifle class, and it does. Trust me, it does. I don't know if I put the gameplay in here where I'm just like running around just spraying, but you go through that, like I would almost, if you know that you're gonna dump the mag, run the extended mag because it goes quick, and the recoil that it has, the likelihood, even on mouse and keyboard, the likelihood that you're going to hit the majority of your shots, even with that 50 round mag, is slim to none. It has a lot of recoil. It shoots really, really fast. So with that all being said, real quick, G, out of everything that you've seen, obviously you kind of talked about the teammate experience earlier today and the like absolute straight truth about the teammate experience because there's not really that much content there. But
and
overall,
it was just a little taste of what's to come when I review it. So
yeah,
I need to give it a fair shot, but go ahead.
I will say that, and I have this. This is going to be the video that's going to be going up tomorrow morning ish, sometime in the morning. That I'm not. I think the missing puzzle piece with this whole thing was being able to pick when the teammates did their thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I more recently got into really just doing like no HUD. Like I did it like limited HUD, but the no HUD just looks so clean. And Fury's like pulse thing, it still shows up. Is you would basically just have to go in and turn off all of the AI abilities. Otherwise, she still pulses, and she pulses a lot. So like the second you kind of get in the perimeter of a base, she'll pulse the entire base, and then that thing will be on cooldown for like maybe 20 to 25 seconds, and then boom, she'll pulse again. So like, I don't know. It just seems like it's super frequent. And then the sniper thing with Vasily, if there's no vehicles or no drones and you don't give them the command to open fire, he doesn't use it. As well as the drone, if you're not detected, he doesn't call the drone. So you have to be detected for him to use the drone. Vasily has to see a drone or a vehicle or something while he's in a command to engage, and then the pulse just happens like every 30 seconds. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll probably personally turn them off. I like the chit chat between the AI teammates. That's good, but I just feel like the abilities are spammed too much. And being a stealth player, the other two really very rarely come into play, especially if you have all the drones turned off. So,
well, these were the points I made in my video, not today, I think it was a few days back, but basically, if Ubisoft would have given us the ability to use these moves when we wanted, it would have showcased that they are truly listening to feedback from the community, because the biggest issue the community has with the AI teammates is the lack of control. So when they added the Rainbow Six team with their abilities and then moved forward with this teammate experience, including the original three to now have their own abilities. They should, in this entire time, this past 4 or 5 months or so, they should have figured out how to give us the ability to use these moves when we want. And you just laid out why. Who wants to sit there? And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of people are going to like it. I don't think people want to sit there and have a pulse go off every 20 seconds, 30
Yeah.
seconds. I don't think people want to sit there and only be able to have Vasily and Fix It use their abilities when shit hits the fan. It's a huge missed opportunity to really bring this to life more than what it is by showcasing, hey, okay, look, you have the opportunity to do this right now. And then that would at least uh have it would breathe some speculation within the community like, yo, maybe next, maybe not this game, but the next game, maybe they are going to move forward with giving us the ability to finally control our AI teammates with the order wheel and the commands we can give them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned that in the video that's going to be going up tomorrow, being the fact that especially with the this, I can't even remember what it's called, but like the really powerful shot from Vasily, I want to be able to, if there's a drone, like I don't want to have to issue, open fire, because when they open fire, and that's like what you were talking about before, I saw it clear as day earlier today. I command them to open fire. They start popping shots, Fix It pops out his drone, and they just like full bore bum rush
Yep.
right into the enemies. And two of them had snipers because I forgot to change their loadouts from when I did like a sniper loadout video. And they're just running in there full bore with sniper rifles, just quick scoping enemies and stuff. And it's just like, if I could have given the command to Vasily, like aimed at a drone and gave him a command that said, take out that drone, like that would have been lit.
Yep.
And with Fix It, I mean, that's the thing with Fix It's drone, the only scenario that you're gonna actually use that and have it like a viable use for it is if you're in deep crap. If you're getting like a Unidad mechanic, that would be the perfect opportunity for his drone, because there's once you pop that drone, stealth is completely out of the question
Yeah.
because it is loud. It is the buzzing noise is, I mean, that's not loud, but when it's shooting. You definitely know when it's shooting. It kind of sounds like the little drones that the Sentinel guys have that kind of come after you when they shoot at you. But it does, I don't know. I just feel like that was a huge missed opportunity. Real quick, Noah Politer says happy birthday, the $2 dono, and as well as Inari the Kitsune. Can you get the M4A1 in the store too, or just Delta codes? As of right now, and this is going to sound really bad because I'm in Delta Company, I should know the answer to this question, but I did not get any specific information from the devs stating whether or not it was going to be in the store. I mean, at this point, the game's a year and a half old. I talked to G about this a minute ago, and I feel as if there should not be exclusive content at this point. It's way too late in the game to lock content behind redeem codes, so hopefully there's a number of redeem codes that we can give out to the community that will allow them to get the new ghillie suit as well as the M4A1 survival for free. But for those that want to get it anyway, you can go into the in-game store and get it. As of right now, I don't know if that's a thing. I know with the early access build that I got, the M4A1 survival was not in the store. It was not in Maria's shop. I actually had to use one of those redeem codes to gain access to it. So, it kind of sucks. Hopefully they do put it in the in-game store and they don't charge an arm and a leg for it, because there's a ghillie suit in the store. And I will say this, I did talk about it in my video earlier today. And this, I don't know how to put this, but I would not spend money on the store ghillie suit, because the one that's on my character currently in this gameplay is the one that's already in the game. And then when you max out your AI teammates to level 15, you get the ghillie head that goes with this ghillie suit, and it is by far the best ghillie suit in the game, and it's free. All you have to do is max out your AI teammates. It is hands down the best ghillie suit in the game. So, for those of you guys wanting to pick up the one in the in-game store, it is a good-looking ghillie suit, but personally it's not the best ghillie suit. So, You know, that's up to you guys to be the judge of that. So CJ with the $1 donation with no text, but appreciate the donation, good sir. I'm trying to scroll back up through here and see if I like anything kind of jumps out at me that I missed.
I know I missed one. There was a question I forget. I'm gonna try to scroll up and find it. Someone asked me a question. Oh, here it is. Ghost Training asked me, "Do you think if Ubi isn't making big changes due to game engine limitations?" Now, I don't know what Anvil Next can and can't do. I'm gonna assume it's a very sophisticated engine and can do many things. However, it comes down to the fact that the developers who know this engine and who create everything in game for us to play, I don't think they're going to sit there and create anything new at this point that's out of this world for a game that is basically dead. They're going to give us the people who have the game, they're going to give us little things like this. Operation Motherland, who knows what's going to come with that. But I wouldn't expect big things. In my opinion, an update like this, it creates some spark around the game, it brings people back into the game, and it gets you in the store purchasing things so Ubisoft Paris can make a little money. That's basically what updates like this are for. So they have a mechanic like the class leveling system. They have a mechanic that came with Operation Amber Sky and the teammate abilities. They combine the two and they make new quote unquote content. So I would expect that moving forward. If anything huge is going to come for this game, I would assume it's going to be a DLC. But I don't know at this point in time, why would they waste their time making huge things like that for this game when the game is basically it's on its way out, man. I mean, we're going to approach the end of the second year of this game. We're going to go into the third year of this game. I don't think anybody should expect anything crazy. That's why when I talk about little things like this update, it would have been nice just to have seen them connect these abilities to some type of button that we could press to just pop these abilities off when we want to.
Yeah.
That right there would have felt legit. Like we understand this isn't a huge update, but at the very least, let me tell the players with a simple order wheel, expand the order wheel and let me just click a button that says Fury, pop it, Vasily, pop it, fix it, pop it. I don't believe that the developers couldn't figure that out. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the decision making at Ubisoft Paris, with the fact that they refuse to give us full control in this game, but it's getting to the point where it's a little tiring knowing that we've been talking about this for the order commands for so long. And then,
Yeah.
and then only to give this to us with Operation Amber Sky and now with the teammate experience. I don't think it's an engine limitation as much as it is these guys just, they already have the majority of these things built out. Anything new that's going to come is going to come in a new game. For instance, like the syringe and healing mechanic in this game. What else was there? The sliding mechanic when you're going down mountains. Things like that will be developed for a new game. But if they're going to give us content like this, they need to stop doing what they're doing with this autonomy, with the AI teammates and everything. And I don't know if I want to blame the engine, if I'm going to blame the developers. I really don't know. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know their day-to-day operations, but I do know that they can make better decisions for not only the types of decisions they make with the AI teammates as far as letting us control them, but even the type of abilities they give them. I don't really think the pulse ability was needed. There's so many ways to see where the enemies are in this game. Do you really need a pulse ability every 20
Yeah.
seconds? You
Yeah.
know,
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
yeah, so I don't know. I hope that answers your question. And moving forward with with conversations that we've had in the past about Snowdrop, Anvil Next, this and that, I don't see unless Ubisoft, the publisher, upper management, unless they take away this IP from Paris, I don't think we're ever going to see Ghost Recon be made in another engine other than Anvil next, because that's what Paris. I think that this is what they're good at. This is probably their bread and butter. Just like Massive is always going to work in Snowdrop. So
Yep. Yep. Real quick, Bradley Quinones with the $1.99 or $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. And Stabby McStabs with the $2 super chat says, "I'm scared to tune 30. Does it hurt?"
30
uh,
didn't 30 doesn't hurt as much as 38.
who
Well,
you
my
who you
early
call?
30s felt good. My
Say
late 30s
who you
hurt.
call an old man then? Oh man, I saw a
It's
message in
all
here.
relative.
Yeah, I saw a message in here that I wanted to answer. But I'll get back to that. But real quick, the gameplay that you guys are currently watching has the Skull Balaclava as well as the MDR. I do have it in single shot because that's the only way I use ARs in this game. I'm not usually going full auto anywhere. You know, try to be precise, single shot. So that's the gameplay that you guys are currently watching. You probably won't really get to see the Skull Balaclava because with the way the camera angles and stuff work in this game, you don't normally see my face. And I am rocking the bloody skull, the Ghost Recon skull as the patch. As you guys will see, it's all over me, which that's another thing. Can I just have it on one sleeve, please? Do I have to have it
Mm.
on both sleeves, my helmet, my backpack, and like everywhere? Like that's frustrating, especially with such a cool patch, but it's just way too
Yo,
gaudy when you have to
you
put it
know
on
you should do
everything.
you should do real quick, since there's about 400 plus in here. You should do it in intervals. You should tell people about the raffle and how you're gonna do it.
Oh, okay. So I don't have one of like the fancy raffles or anything set up, guys. So immediately following this stream, so as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to be putting a post up over on the community tab of the YouTube channel. So like if you guys have all of my notifications and stuff turned on, you will see it. If you go over, like if you go to the home page of my YouTube channel, up at the very top, there'll be like home videos, and then there's a tab that says community. There will be a post in there where I'm going to put up a post talking about the new ghillie suit as well as the M4A1 survival. All you guys have to do is drop a comment in that post, and then I'm going to do like a raffle based on all of the people that are in there. I'll probably give it, maybe like 24 hours or something like that. I'll probably start picking tomorrow night, kind of around this time, so that gives you guys a good 24 hours, and then hopefully by then the update will be live and they don't have any issues with, taking down the servers and everything tomorrow. So yeah, just as immediately following the stream, there will be a post that goes up on the community tab of the channel. Just drop a comment in there, and I will do a raffle for everybody that's in there to get a chance at the new ghillie suit as well as the M4A1 survival. New world, dope future. Any changes to PvP? Nope, not that I'm aware of.
EVP is dead for Breakpoint.
Yeah,
Either enjoy the state that it's at or move on to something else.
yeah. I don't think. I highly doubt unless with Operation Motherland, if they bring in some new stuff, maybe. I don't see PvP really getting any more updates, to be
The only
honest.
thing they'll bring in is a new map. That's it.
Yeah,
Like, if you're looking for new mechanics, or like, that's it. This is what the game is. That's it. This is what Breakpoint is. We're a year and a half into the game. This is also a problem, not to go off. This is a problem with the quote unquote games as a service. If you just release game in full, not broken, then you don't have to worry about working on the game for 2 years, delivering half-ass content, and having people constantly, yo, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Release your game, one and done. That's it. And then they wait for the next one. No one goes on Naughty Dog forums like, hey guys, can you patch the game to do this? Like, no, that's it. The Last of Us is 2. It's released and then it's done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know about like they got this thing stuck in with the live service. All the games use the same engine, all the games use the same mechanics, all the games use the same resources, just like a slight spin on each one to kind of make them somewhat different than each other. I get that from a business side of things. It makes things extremely smooth when it comes to that stuff because they can all kind of use the same assets and the same kind of stuff. But as a consumer, it's yeah, I don't know. Being the fact that
Yeah.
I normally mainly just play Ghost Recon, so I'm not playing, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla and then this and stuff. So then I see like the super crossover stuff, which would probably be really annoying if I were to play both games, because like you were talking about, like with the stealth mechanic when you're in bushes and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
was in Odyssey, and
Yeah, you can see how there was a mechanic that must have been built out within the engine that is utilized for both games, and it was obvious to see because of the way it operated. It operated exactly the same. So there obviously are things within Anvil Next 2.0 that allows for the streamlining of these games, and obviously one is one type of game, one is another type of game, but I don't know if that necessarily means it's beneficial. You know, you would have to really sit down with a dev and talk to them about how this engine works, and it would have to be like a behind the scenes anonymous thing so they don't get in trouble, because I would love to know if this is a good engine or not.
yeah,
I would love to know that, especially with Unreal making headway, Unreal Engine 5 coming now too. There are a lot of devs that are just they're just doing their stuff in Unreal.
yeah,
So I'm not sure what Anvil Next 2.0 is really excels at, but
yeah,
that's what leads back to the last question. Is it the developers, their lack of passion, their lack of time? This game was rushed, or is it the engine? I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Real quick, for those of you guys watching the gameplay, this is the M4A1 Survival. I
Ooh,
do have the
sexiness.
I do have the M4A1 Survival equipped, as well as the Desert Eagle Survival, and we are rocking the oh, what is it, like the Fast MT with the visor, the clear visor across the front. That's all new items. And I do have to say, the Desert Eagle Survival is really fun to use. It's extremely powerful for being a 50 caliber, quote unquote 338 pistol. It does have a lot of recoil, but it's still pretty quiet. Um, and it has a red dot sight. We have a pistol in the game that has a red dot sight. Out of all of the community members and all these people asking to be able to put red dot sights on their gun, they give you a suppressed Desert Eagle with a red dot sight. That's a skin, and you can't modify it. So, yeah, I don't know the thought process of that, behind all that. But Penguin Overlord says, "Happy birthday, squad. Hope you're doing well." I am doing well. Hopefully, you are recovering quite well from your Ghost Recon 1 playthrough. Because I am glad that was you and not me.
PTSD.
I am glad that was you and not me. That those old school games were hard,
Yep,
extremely hard.
they don't play around.
Yep. And then Riley McQuillan with the $5 Canadian super chat says, "Happy birthday, brother. Enjoy it. I think PvP belongs in Ghost Recon, but how would you guys implement new ideas and player size? Would open world work?" And then before we get to that, Phantom Fox also with the $5 super chat with the critical hit gif over there on the side. That's I don't
Nice.
think I've ever seen that. That's pretty cool. Um, and back to Riley with the PvP. I've said this before, and honestly, for those of you guys that watch like every single one of my videos, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, dude, this dude's a broken record." You take the PvP from Future Soldier. There was, I believe, every single mode was at least 6v6 minimum. Some modes had 8v8, and there were even like in private matches you could do like, I think it was like 8v8 or 10v10, like custom clan matches in the private matches. So and those were more um CQB, like CQB, close quarters. There were long sight lines, but it was a lot more tactical of a multiplayer. You have Ghost War, with Breakpoint and Wildlands, with maps that are 3 times bigger than they need to be, with less players than there needs to be. I think um, they need to get back to a different type of PvP, whether that be leaving it 4v4 and smaller, tighter, more, actual tactical maps, not stuff straight out of PvE. I saw a video go up the other day. I didn't even know I was subscribed to this YouTube channel, but it's a Russian game developer that makes a game called Caliber, And that game is everything that Ghost Recon PvP should be. I believe it's a 4v4 or maybe it's a 5v5, you
Yeah,
know,
I've
third
seen
person
gameplay of
tactical
that.
shooter with a bunch of different operators like the whole Rainbow Six Siege system and a third person like Ghost Recon style PvP. The only thing that it's missing is a proper cover system. That's all it's missing. If it had the cover system from Ghost Recon Breakpoint, sign me up. Make that a PvP because it's not bullet spongy. You know, some operators have different perks and different things about them, little quirks and stuff, just like Rainbow Six Siege. You know, so there are, you know, this cancels out that operator or this operator. There's always a balance, and I think that's what they really need to take a step back and think about what they want from a PvP side of things. Because if you have a living PvP scene, the game will always be popular. It'll always live on. You know, the PvE only goes so far. Like we enjoy playing the PvE, we can just go in and screw around, you know, and just do some other stuff. But a lot of people, if it doesn't have a good PvP, they'll just put it down. They won't play it anymore. So a good PvP, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing like a Future Soldier style PvP or even like Caliber with a proper cover system and a good progression system. Without a good progression system, it could be the best tactical shooter in the world. But if there's no reason to grind, like leaderboards and you know proper progression system, unlocking new skins or new weapon skins or stuff like that as you progress. If there's none of that, it still doesn't matter. So I don't know. I don't know what the devs need to do when it comes to a PvP side of things because it really feels like there's a really big disconnect with what the players want and what the devs think we want. So I don't know, but that's the direction that I would go with a PvP without, you know, going down a rabbit hole, which I sometimes tend to do. But Jason Hennigan with the $5 super chat says we need a new Socom with commands like Socom 1 with the headset. Oh, man, you're taking me down memory lane. That the headset came with the Socom game, and you could issue voice commands to your AI teammates on the PlayStation 2 20 years ago. Why can't we do anything close to that now? I don't get it.
I think
And
the industry abandoned the voice command thing. It was a cool gimmick at the time, but then I think they realized it's probably not worth the development time to do it,
yeah,
especially with accents and different languages. It's just much easier to do everything with buttons and that's it.
yeah. So also the gameplay that you guys are currently watching now has the Arcturus warrior or the Arcturus Ghost Warrior Ghillie Hood. This is basically the Ghillie Hood or the Ghillie suit that you get in the in-game store. So this is basically the big pack of what the Delta Company guys have codes for, which, like I said, I will be putting up a post after the stream, so you guys can go over there and drop a comment. But like I said, if there's
So
any
now,
point in this gameplay where my dude rotates around, you guys can see that like my full face. You can see my full face because the devs put the ghillie heads in the face mask slot, which we could get into that, you know. But I don't know.
so
That was a huge miss there
quick
too.
question for the raffle. Will you be able to contact people just by seeing their comments? Should people, I don't
Ooh,
know, like how's that going to work?
I have
Can
a
you
better idea. You are right. I have a better idea. I will set up like one of those Gleam giveaways, and I will post a link in the community tab. That'll just probably be the easiest way because you have to enter in like some form of contact information.
There you go.
So
See,
it'll still be this.
that's why you keep me around.
Yep. So that it'll be the same thing. There will be a community post on the community tab after the stream, but there will be a link into it to one of the Gleam giveaways where you guys. It'll just be like I don't know. It'll be like, you know, just like a YouTube video or subscribe to. I don't think you can do subscribe to the YouTube thing anymore because it boosts numbers and YouTube put a big old kibosh on that. But I'll figure out a way. Even if you just all you have to do is click the link and it gives you an entry. I'll figure something out with that. But you guys will be made aware of that on the community tab. I kind of dropped the ball on this because I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do a stream tonight. So yeah, that's why I keep you around. Riley McQuillan with the $5 Canadian super chat says, "What about classes like Wildlands PvP had, or what Breakpoint did with only a couple and only the one character? I enjoyed my classes looking different in Wildlands." So there's kind of there's two sides to that. I personally enjoyed the way the classes worked in Wildlands. I felt as if it was sort of balanced that way because you could only, yeah, there were some classes that were kind of sort of OP compared to other classes, but that's the way it works. You know, it's depending on what class you pick and no class, you know, that kind of thing. I just know that there was several PvP community members that some of them are actually in Delta Company felt as if the Wildlands PvP with that class system was way too restrictive. And that's why I think they kind of did steer away from that a little bit. So I don't I don't really have a lot of inside information on that, other than the fact that you know a lot of the community members thought that was too restrictive, which is maybe why we got a little bit away from how it worked in Wildlands. So I personally like the system they had in Wildlands, as long as they would let me get the point man. I love my ACR. Um, did you play any PvP in Wildlands?
Yeah, I did. I did PvP for a while there. Once it dropped, I don't know, maybe a few months. I played. I had a few other guys with me too. At that point in time, I was playing on the PS4, so I actually had friends that I was playing with. So yeah, I enjoyed the probably enjoyed the point man the most. What was the other class that had? I don't even remember now. There was the point man, and then there was a class that I think had the vector, but I don't remember. I
Yeah,
played basically up until they started dropping new classes, and then I think by the time they dropped the Pathfinder class, which I think that was the class with the crossbow, by that point in time I had stopped.
gotcha. Yeah, I played it a little bit at the start, and I will probably say that the most that I ever played the PvP all at one time was during the beta, because it was like, oh, this is a new PvP, and they only had like a couple of different maps, and I really got into it during the beta because it was something new, and then after that, it was just like, nah, yeah, there was no real, like I know there was like some sort of like a prestige system in there that I don't know, I never really got into it.
Yeah,
But
you
if
get to a certain level and then you just keep going.
Yep. But there is, I believe, I think there's a YouTube video on my YouTube channel where I think it was Desert Outpost. Desert Outpost, one of the multiplayer maps. I got an ace on Desert Outpost, and I was just like, oh my
Nice.
god, it's the greatest thing in the world. Because there was like a Brett Favre grenade at the end to finish off the last dude. So, I mean, I had my moments in that PvP. It was fun, but I feel like I was addicted to the Future Soldier PvP, like, and that was 9 years ago, 2 days ago, that Ghost Recon Future Soldier released. It's been 9 years, and that PvP was hopping right at the start. And I was playing on the Xbox 360 and just still having a blast. So, let's see if there's anything going down here through the chat.
Yeah, so the M4A1 skin, you could take the suppressor off it. Yes or no?
I don't know. I never
Oh,
tried.
I didn't try.
I did
I,
not try.
I'm gonna assume you can.
I would think you would be
I
able
forget
to.
where I read it. So someone had asked. So I'm gonna assume that you can. But the weird thing is that A Squad said that it doesn't seem to be in the store at this point. So hopefully that's remedied. Otherwise, it is a super exclusive weapon up until they
Ugh,
figure out
I hope not.
whether or not. Yeah. So
It doesn't need to be. It really
no,
doesn't
not at
need to
all.
be. Midnight Rain says, "Is this gameplay on your second character?" I don't know what that means.
No.
This is my main character. This is my level 30 max level. Uh, just using the gameplay that you're watching is the new ghillie suit, the Desert Eagle survival, and the M4A1 survival. So, I think you'll see this right here in this little clip here. The amount of recoil that Desert Eagle has, and I seen people talking about it in my comments section as well, that they got rid of the blood splatter at one point or something, because people were like, "Oh yeah, the blood spatter's back," which I didn't realize it was ever gone.
Maybe
But
it was just more,
it's definitely more. Like you'll see in the little gameplay clip where you
yeah.
shoot that dude against a wall, and it's just
Yo,
sprays
so
all over the wall behind him.
where is the Desert Eagle located? Maria's shop or the store?
Store.
So it's Ghost
It's
Coins.
it's ghost coins.
So you will
Correct.
have to purchase the Desert Eagle, guys.
Yep. So
Keegan, what's up, bro? Everybody,
yeah,
what's up?
the
Joseph, Midnight.
the Desert Eagle Survival, they classified it in the
Mm.
patch notes as a weapon skin, which it's a new gun. You know, it's basically the same thing as the M4A1 Survival, which in that case is a new skin, but they deemed that a new weapon. It's the same concept. So there's out of all the weapons, you can get the MSR sniper rifle from Ghost Recon Wildlands, as well as the Mark 18. You can get both of those in Maria's shop for, I want to say it's 45,000 credits, scale credits, which is kind of insane if you haven't played like a lot or went around and opened up all the scale credit chests and or went down and take down a bunch of behemoth drones and stuff like that. Like that's a lot of credits. But the Mark 18, it's just as fun, if not more fun than it was in Wildlands. The MSR, I didn't really do a whole lot of sniping in Ghost Recon Breakpoint just because there wasn't really a sniper that I could gravitate towards. Um, the one that was like Sarah Fisher's rifle, the Paladin, whatever it was, I kind of did, but I can definitely see myself sniping more with the MSR. It just feels familiar. It feels good as a weapon in the game. So, and you can get it in Maria's shop. And then how cost Rainbow Six skins? Oh boy, I think I think I think they were four. I want to say they were 400, or some of them, a couple of them were maybe. I don't. They weren't any more
What's
than
for
600.
five?
Uh,
Five bucks?
600 I think is $5.
Okay.
So I think roughly, if you get it, if you buy it individually, they're like $5, which is still kind of crazy for what they are. But you guys will understand once you see Knock. I do have some Knock gameplay on here. I do have some Valkyrie gameplay on here as well. But Knock, oof, such a cool skin.
You know,
Such a cool
I
skin.
have to be honest. It's one area that I don't mind for video games at this point in time. I'm kind of used to it for these developers to try to make money. I know back in the day when you played a game, you would unlock everything in game. Times have changed. So if they want to try to make money, they should make as many skins as possible because I keep saying, I'll repeat it over and over, the Fortnite model seems to work.
Yep.
And even though we already paid for this game, we're a year and a half in. If they're gonna drop 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 skins and charge $5 a pop, it's really not that bad if you want to play with that skin and get a little entertainment out of it. It's relatively inexpensive.
Yep. I'll tell you right now, if they put a hunter team in the store, I'm buying every single one of them. Like where's the future soldier stuff? Like I don't get it. I've seen
That's what a lot of people are asking
so
for.
many people in my comment section is like, "Yo, where's the future soldier skins?
But
Where's the
dude,
future
maybe
soldier
it's gonna
skins?"
come
Like
with Operation Motherland. I mean, you never know.
speaking, yeah, on
After
that,
Boat Arc and everything, you don't know where this story is gonna take us, and so let's be patient. It'll probably be too little, too late, but it might come.
yeah, there has to be an ending. There has to be an ending to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There's no way after
Well,
playing all the
yeah,
way
it'll
through Ghost
happen with
Recon
Motherland.
Wildlands, you can't just leave Nomad here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you
So
can't.
Operation Motherland should probably be the end of the game. I don't know if it's worth it for them to put in effort after that. You do Motherland, you take 2022 off, you advertise something in 2022 for 2023, and you call it a day.
Yeah.
Or
And
not, or you
and
put in the bare minimum in 2022 and you keep trying to maximize profits
ugh.
by doing updates like this, dude. Hey, man, right? If they're going to work, if they can throw together little things like this and still put things in the store for you to go see and for you to buy, 2022 might still have things like this. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep. Real quick, back to a couple super chats.
Yo, Matt, what's up?
Riley McQuillan says, "Yeah, man, Future Soldier had the best multiplayer, fast pace, and can be slow, intense. So many different game modes, and Gunsmith was amazing back then." Yeah, I still don't understand how you have the first iteration of like a groundbreaking mechanic in attack shooter being the gunsmith feature, where you literally go in there and then the gun physically pulls apart so you can see all of the individual parts and swap out individual parts. It was such a cool mechanic. How do you bring in such a groundbreaking mechanic and then every iteration after that it gets less and less? It makes no sense. I don't get it. Um, and like with the slow intense parts of that, like for instance, oh, there's yeah, I'm doing a little deer hunting in Ghost Recon Breakpoint with the MSR. And that's that. Okay, so the gameplay you guys are watching here, real quick before I keep going, this is the best ghillie suit in the game. This is the free one that you can, like, the pants and the shirt are already in the game. You rank up your AI teammates to level 15, and you get this ghillie head. And this is also gameplay of the MSR, doing some long range sniping and stuff around a couple of different bases. And then also another super chat. Oh, where'd it go? From Riley McQuillan says, "This is from the people who want to donate but unable to. Big love from the community." Thank you, sir, with the another $5 Canadian super chat. And yeah, there's some guy, I don't know if he's in chat or if anybody's seen it on Twitter. I know Fox Zero's seen it on Twitter, but this dude that's claiming that Hunter Team is returning in Operation Motherland, and 100% that come September we are going to see Hunter Team return in Ghost Recon Breakpoint for Operation Motherland.
Well,
He's
we'll see.
claiming. He's been like it nonstop.
Yeah, he might just be talking over and over and over and over again. Yo, Neon Matt said, "Happy birthday, Squad. How old are you, brother?"
32 years young. 32 years young. And I no joke, I've been playing video games for 28 of those 32 years. Started
A long
with
time.
started with my grandma actually got me into video games. She bought me a Super NES when I was a kid.
What's your first game
My first Super
that
Mario
you
All
remember?
Stars. So it had Super Mario Bros.
Nice.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Yep, and then a handful of other games, and then she got us the Nintendo 64, so I got to experience GoldenEye in its
Oof.
prime. In its
Yep.
prime.
Goat shit right there.
Yep. Like, so many people that have never played GoldenEye have no idea the impact that had on the first person shooter genre. I mean, that was what, 28, 9, 10, 11, 24 years ago that released. Crazy. All right, let's scroll back up through a little bit of the comments here.
So real quick for Jonathan, I don't really. This is a good question for you because I think you're more of a Call of Duty player. I don't really play it. How do you feel about Activision and Sledgehammer making another Call of Duty World War II game? Are you interested in that?
Hot ass. That's my hot take. I mean, we've had how many World War II games, like back in like the mid 2000s? Everything was World War II, and then you had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare that finally broke the mold, and then modern was the new thing. Like even Battlefield was doing that, like old school, old stuff. I feel as if they do actually release Call of Duty World War II Vanguard, which it's rumored to be this year. That's a massive, and I mean massive, opportunity for DICE and EA with Battlefield 6, or quote unquote what they're calling just Battlefield. Supposedly it's not going to have a number after it. It's literally just going to be called Battlefield. In a modern setting, I feel like that would be huge if COD went World War II and Battlefield went modern. I think they would attract a massive player base to Battlefield. And then with the other, not to completely go off on another direction here, but there's also a rumor that Battlefield, quote unquote Battlefield 6, is going to be releasing on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass day 1, which I think would be huge because currently there's roughly like 22 million Game Pass subscribers. So you throw Battlefield 6 into an ecosystem of that size, where if you're already a subscriber, you get to play Battlefield 6 for free. a community of 22 plus million players. By then, it could be creeping up on 30 million players. And you inject a modern AAA Battlefield game in there that at that point would be free. Oof. I think that would be, it could be a huge year of like maybe even possibly a changing of the guard when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield. So,
So if someone happens to win their this little giveaway, where do they redeem the codes?
um, when I contact them, I'll give them the link because there's like if you guys go over to like the tweet or whatever or any social media that Ghost Recon the devs put out, there's a redeem link where you can go. If you go into if you're playing on like Xbox or PlayStation, I don't know how it works, but on PC, if you go into like Ubisoft Connect, there's a spot where you can like redeem a code. It doesn't work in there. I tried. So you actually do have to go to the link that they sent out to redeem this code because I tried redeeming a code in like, like on PC, I think it's like Shift F2 where you can open up like the Ubisoft Connect thing and you can go in there and redeem a code. It doesn't work in there. You actually do have to follow the link that they sent out to go redeem the code. So Elton says, "Hello, A Squad. Do you have access to make Breakpoint team create what you say?" I mean, I can give them advice. They're not gonna listen to me. I don't have the deep pockets that the investors and the higher ups do at Ubisoft.
Even at that point, you have to wonder who has the ears or the ability to say what and what not to do because boy oh boy, I'd like to sit down with the person who decided where to take Ghost Recon as a franchise because Breakpoint was not it.
Yeah, and it's I don't know what the big difference between like I don't know if it was because it was a longer dev cycle with Wildlands and Breakpoint. So, and I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say this, but back during the development of Ghost Recon Wildlands, during the early stages of it, like before it was shown, I think whatever E3 they showed it, or they had like the full gameplay demo, before that, like 6 months prior to that, there was no over the shoulder aiming mechanic in Ghost Recon Wildlands. It was not there. It was like when you aimed in, it was first person only. There was no over the shoulder aiming mechanic whatsoever in Ghost Recon Wildlands. And they took feedback from the guys, the community guys, like guys like me, like for instance, that were helping them develop Ghost Recon Wildlands. And they took their feedback and then implemented the over the shoulder aiming system that we see in Ghost Recon Wildlands as well as Ghost Recon Breakpoint today.
Well, shout out to those guys because I mean the over the shoulder is in Future Soldiers. So what the hell were they thinking?
No idea. I don't know if they were going a slightly different direction or it was just early enough in development that they weren't quite there yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't a thing early on. And they listened to feedback from those guys. So, Executioner, A Squad, and G Money, if Ubisoft does make a new Ghost Recon game, how would you feel about what is that?
Ghost Recon World War II. Maybe he just put H instead of R somehow. I don't know. Ghost.
GHWW2? That's, you can't, technically, because you want me to go
Yeah.
super nerd? You want me to go
Not super
super
nerd. You
nerd?
just long story short, the ghosts
The
don't
ghosts weren't
form in.
established until after that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
What year is it? 05?
well, because they were like the group of specialized tactics
Yeah.
first, and
And
then
then
they
then
got
they come together and form the ghosts,
yeah,
right?
yep,
So in look, you want to talk about I talk about this all the time, trying to
retcon,
retcon,
yep,
right? Yeah, I think the earliest you could probably go is some type of Cold War 80s where a lot of old school guys are written into a story who kind of move into the 90s and 2000s and have the idea to form this group with the new generation of special forces. Maybe you could retcon a story, something like that, to get older type of gameplay, but I don't think you could go much past the 80s. Sometimes I talk with community members about Vietnam, but you're really pushing it once you go back
yeah, no,
that far. You're basically just making a new game. But at this point, what the hell does it matter if you just call it Ghost Recon Vietnam? I
Don't
mean,
give him
if
no ideas. Assassin's Creed already went down that route. We talked about this last
well,
time.
I mean, I don't want them to make Ghost Recon Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think it would. I wouldn't mind a some type of Cold War Ghost Recon if they had to rewrite the lore somehow. I'd probably enjoy it because I like the old school type of combat. I'm
Yeah.
not really into the futuristic stuff, which is why I don't like Breakpoint much with Aurora and Skell technology and all of these behemoth drones and bumblebee drones all over the island.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense. It's like it's cheesy. It's almost like it's a mechanic to put there to make the game feel hard, to make the game feel like there are things to do in it, when in reality it's just a machine that you fight, and it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you could go back to World War II, bro. It's a little too far.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to you just abandon the whole idea of Ghost Recon being Ghost Recon and Ghost Recon in name only, and it's basically just third-person tactical shooter with the name Ghost Recon,
He
which,
says,
like what A Squad said, is basically like Assassin's Creed now.
yeah, because we'll do another long story short. Assassin's Creed Origins was borderline an Assassin's Creed game. I would still sort of classify it because, you know, of the kind of the way it was, but the second they announced Odyssey, that, and I still to this day I will stand by my words. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not an Assassin's Creed game. It just has the Assassin's Creed name to sell the game, because it
Yeah.
is not an Assassin's Creed game. If you're not playing as an actual assassin, you're playing as a Spartan or whatever. I don't care however they tried to dwindle in an assassin story. That was not an Assassin's Creed game. They just used the name to sell it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is more of an Assassin's Creed game than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, yeah, I don't know. I personally, in a perfect world, people, community members, like people that are in this stream, that are kind of bouncing ideas back and forth, if we could have a seat, like, I mean, that wouldn't even have to be, I don't even know how to put this in the right way, but a seat at the table, so that, like, our ideas are somewhat heard, but not only heard, understood. Because we've seen it time and time and time again. There's a huge disconnect from the devs and the higher ups of what Ghost Recon should, could, would be. And I feel as if even the people that helped shape Wildlands aren't aren't helping like that anymore. And I think that's a big mistake. I've literally played I've played every Ghost Recon game in existence, and I will say this, except for Ghost Recon Phantoms. I've seen so many YouTube videos on it. I watched other people play it, but I never played it myself, which was a really, really good PvP game. But I just don't understand the direction that we kind of keep going. Who knows? Maybe they'll blow it out of the park with the next game. Or, because of how Breakpoint was, there might not be a next game. We don't know. So,
Well, Matt had said something in chat before. I answered him. I answered him in the comment section. He said, "Yo, they might decide to do what they did to Rainbow Six with this game and just keep putting out small little pieces of content every few months, try to recoup some revenue, and just do that for God knows how long." Now, Rainbow Six came out in 2015, and they're finally going to get a new game this year. So, can you imagine if they drag on Breakpoint for 3, 4, 5 years
hmm.
with just little things like this? That could be that could be crazy, man. We might not see another Ghost Recon game for a while. But the thing is that Ghost Recon's not as successful as Rainbow Six, so maybe they might not want to go down that route for this specific Ghost Recon title. But
and
that
see,
might be their agenda.
yeah, I feel too as if it was properly developed with a proper PvP, it could be.
Yeah,
It could be
that's
as
true.
successful.
It could be have a lot more longevity that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yep. A couple super chats that I missed, and also Demar Hall says if they decide to go retcon the Ghost Unit origins, I'd like to see them in the Gulf War or near the Black Hawk Down timeline, since that era hasn't been tapped into for FPS shooters. Not a bad
That
idea. I would.
That's around that. I think that's around the era where that's the
That's,
farthest back you can really go,
yeah.
man.
And then Inari the Kitsune says Ghost Recon choose your own adventure game when. Yeah, no, I don't. See, I've talked about it
Ghost
before.
Recon Civil War.
Yeah, no, no.
Reload. I am. It takes 40 seconds, bro.
Yeah. And then Stabby McStabs Gaming says Ghost Recon and Desert Storm. I People want the Middle East, with Desert Storm. I mean, you kind of roll back that technology a little bit, so you don't
And just
have.
and just remember, you limit your biome options when you
Correct.
pigeonhole yourself into something like that to where it's, just Desert Storm, which is why I think it's good that the Ghost lore is kind of fluid to where this group can have a campaign in the Middle East, a campaign in Africa, a campaign here, a campaign there. And knowing Ubisoft, we also have to remember, guys, moving forward, I don't think they're going to use real world locations anymore. So it might be beneficial for them to just keep it moving after Breakpoint and stick with this fantasy make up enemy type of thing where they can kind of create their own worlds the way they want it. It doesn't have to look like something specific, but it can resemble a location in the world, and they can mix and match, kind of like Mount Hodgson and then Fen Bog. You have snowy mountains that bleed into swamplands. So they might just continue going down that path.
Yeah. Also, real quick for you guys probably watching the gameplay in the background, we do have Valkyrie from Ghost or not Ghost Recon from Rainbow Six Siege. Um, it's a good skin. I'll be honest. I enjoy the skin. It's got the military outfit and stuff. Um,
Yeah, Valkyrie looks good, man.
yep. And then also, what did I see? I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't know if it was. I completely lost my train of thought now. Crap.
Whatever. Move on to the next thing. Matt has said now, going back to the earnings report, which was scary for Ghost Recon because they didn't even mention Ghost Recon in the earnings report. He said he has a feeling Ubisoft might go down this live service route because their last financial meeting was stated that they're moving towards this type of model. So for real, you never know. After Operation Motherland, maybe they don't want to make a new game and they do create a DLC of sorts with Moa Island, or they do expand Aroa with new types of islands for the next year or two, while they let they Ghost Recon kind of takes a back seat and they drop little things while the Division gets a new game, Heartland comes out, Star Wars gets some notoriety and starts getting some promotion. So yeah, it's true, man. Ghost
We're a
Recon might
dying.
take the back seat.
Yep, we're a dying breed.
Yep, and that's why I released that video last week, maybe a couple weeks back, I forget, where I spoke about how after hearing about the Division Heartland, how it might be bad news for Ghost Recon and Ghost Recon fans because it seems Ghost Recon might take a back seat to some of these other titles. And
Yep.
just imagine if Star Wars from Massive Entertainment becomes a huge success.
Yeah, I
They
don't know
might
about
they
that. It is a
yo
Ubisoft title in the end.
that's true, but it's a Star Wars game,
Yeah.
and Massive,
Yeah.
the Division was pretty good. They learned a lot from making the Division games. You don't know what type of game they'll make for this Star Wars game, but my point being is Ubisoft gonna want to put in that much effort into Ghost Recon when they already have Division, third person looter shooter, and Star Wars, which will be another third person type of. I'm sure it'll have the same type of formula as the Division. They might just keep Ghost Recon on the back burner for a while. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, and with that being said, Evil Spider 69 said, "Do you think Ubi with the $5 dono as well? Says, do you think Ubi might shelve Ghost Recon like Splinter Cell? It's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out with the
Yeah,
launch and everything going on.
we've
Uh,
spoken about that a lot.
yep. And I do remember what I was saying when you were talking about going not going to a real location anymore.
You see, I told you, bro. You turned 32. You're already forgetting what you had to freaking talk about.
This guy. But no, you were talking like you knew like the one of the endings in Ghost Recon Wildlands talked about El Sueño escaping and going to El Salvador
Oh
and
yeah,
starting
yeah.
up another drug cartel. So he goes to El Salvador takes over the government and everything, and renames it El Sueñador. Boom.
Boom.
Ghost
El
Recon,
Sueño.
Ghost Recon Wildlands 2, and El Sueñador.
There you go. You don't need a real location. Ubisoft is off the hook, and we get that Wildlands Part 2 that everybody has been wanting.
And I will say, like, anybody that ever wants to badmouth Wildlands, like, we need to have a talk. We might not be able to be friends. But the system, like, I know I talked about it in the video that I made a while back about Wildlands 2, and people were like talking about the fact, well, I don't want another drug cartel. But the way that game worked with the drug cartel and then the corrupt military that partnered with them was
Yeah.
so perfect.
Yeah.
And I feel like they didn't necessarily have to do it the exact same way, and it could still be successful. And real quick before I go any further, we do have gameplay of Knock on screen now, and I believe this is not, I didn't put the right pistol on because I believe he uses she. You're right, she.
I mean, what are we to say? He, she, today's day.
Well, she grunts like a girl. But I had the wrong pistol.
Let's just call him they.
Yeah, I do have the wrong pistol compared to what it said that she uses in Rainbow Six Siege. I'm still rocking the Desert Eagle Survival. We do have the Mark 18 with the ACOG scope, suppressor, the Maul laser. That's what you guys are seeing here. Taking down the airfield, the naval airfield down towards the southern tip of the map. In the rain, in the early morning. Like, the aesthetics of this was super good when I was getting the gameplay. I just couldn't pass up a chance to get some cool gameplay with Nock taking down the airfield. So that's what you guys are seeing. And like I said before, you can see what I'm talking about here with the pouch, the little medical pouch that's like right above her butt.
Can't really see it.
Watch when she walks.
Let me full screen this.
Like, watch when it walks. It kind of like goes and jiggles. It kind of jiggles back and forth, kind of weird.
Jiggles? Yeah, that's not the only thing that jiggles.
Stabby McStabs with the $5 super chat says the thing about the Middle East is you have the forests, the snow, the arid areas, the mountains, the grasslands, the plains. You have all of that, which I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I got too accustomed to like the wild
moves. Oh, the mesh move's stupid, bro. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, you see it? You see, I was like, it does that little, like, it moves like.
Fix that, bro. That's broken. That's broken.
Like, that pouch should stay square.
No, that's broken. Yeah, they're gonna have to fix that. That looks for paying money for that. That looks absolutely ridiculous, and that won't get fixed until winter.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like I said, I'm not even sure if I'm like supposed to say that, but from what I understand, there's not going to be any hot fixes or any updates or patches to this update. The next update I believe we're going to see is Motherland in fall, as far as I know.
Well, we still have to play Tomb Raider.
That's true, but I'm not sure exactly how they're going to institute that.
Well, I know this game is dead, so there might not be data miners out there, but unless the Tomb Raider update was given with this patch and it's hidden in the background, in which data miners would be able to find it, they're going to have to give us one other update in between now and the fall update for Motherland, right?
Yeah.
Unless the Tomb Raider thing has to come soon. It can't come back to Motherland. I'm assuming it's going to come in between these two major title updates. So.
Yeah. And then also real quick, where'd it go? Johnny Perez said they should add more sniper rifles such as the M24, the M40A3, and the MSR. Well, the MSR is coming tomorrow in this update. That is confirmed coming. The M40A5 or the M40A3, very similar weapons. That was in Ghost Recon Wildlands. That was the first weapon case you get when you take what's his name back to Bowman, which was a decent sniper rifle. But obviously, when you get like the MSR and then the TAC 50 and the other snipers in the game, it really kind of puts that one to shame. But I just feel like there is a lack of diversity with weapons, a little bit more so in this game because they're all like variants, like. In Ghost Recon Wildlands, me and G were talking about this the other day. So in Ghost Recon Wildlands, all the guns are different. The majority of like the special weapons, like the Division LVOA, the LVOA, the base core weapon is a different base weapon. In this game, you have the M4A1, You have the M4A1 Assault, you have the M4A1 Tactical, you have the M4A1 Survival, you have the M4A1 Scout, which in Wildlands, I could make all of those guns from the M4A1 base using the gunsmith. I didn't need a variant to make it because I had long barrels and stock customization and different customization that would allow me to build all of those weapons off of the same base weapon. I didn't need all these variations, you know? So, and then also King Sauce in the chat says still no ACR. Honestly, we might never see it because the ACR doesn't exist anymore. I believe Bushmaster, I think they went bankrupt, and I don't think the ACR is in production anymore. Because obviously back in the day it was made by Magpul. It was the Magpul Masada was like the first iteration of the ACR, and then at one point I almost want to say that one point Remington had it, and then Bushmaster got it, and I don't think it exists. Like they're not making the ACR anymore, so maybe that has something to do with why we don't see it.
Yeah, but you know what? If they're gonna make fake countries, make fake guns, bro. You have the mechanic for the ACR, call it the ABDCEFG for all we care.
Right.
People just wanna equip it and be like, oh, this is the ACR. Forget the name. You know, I think those are the fights, those are the battles like people should, you know, not take if or choose the fight. That's the saying, like the
Yeah.
saying I'm looking for. You know, like choose your battles. If they come out with a gun and it's called whatever, but it's, you know, operates like the ACR, then be happy. So
Yeah, I
maybe they should
guess.
start doing that as well.
Yeah, and I do guess this is a few people have talked about this, that Walker's weapon, the Silver Snake, technically is an ACR. It is technically an ACR. It's just not built out the way I think it should be, and I don't even know how
Yeah.
much you can modify it because it's like a signature weapon.
Yeah.
So, and then also, where was it? I think this chat's going too fast. Where did it go? Um, they the IP gamer. They need to add flashlights on weapons. They need to add flashlights in general, whether it be a tack light that you kind of like put on your vest, similar to how State of Decay 2 does it. Like when you go in somewhere dark, you literally just flip on a switch and it turns on a tack light that's like attached to your chest. A weapon flashlight, or even like a helmet mounted flashlight, being the fact that we have a bunch of like military helmets in the game that have night vision attachments. There's little spots on the side of all those helmets to attach a tack light. I mean, hell, even DayZ allows you to put a tack light on your helmet.
Okay, but now here's the question. When you're playing DayZ, you have attack like on your helmet and a NPC, you come behind an NPC and you shine your tack light, will they turn around?
Well, see, that's the thing is there's not any actual NPCs other than zombies.
Okay, so that might work. Whereas the reason I think I've said this before, I'm not sure because we've talked about it a lot, but the reason there's no flashlights in this game for the player is because I don't believe the they have the AI program to respond to flashlights. So I think for them, you're better off not having flashlights to the point where players have them and they're flashing it on AI, and you're seeing YouTube videos like haha LOL dumb Ghost Recon AI with players, you know, putting flashlights on and off behind the AI, and the AI never turns around. So until we know that it's baked into the code and that the AI will respond to flashlights, I don't think we'll ever see flashlights. It's the same reason why I think we don't see smoke grenades. If you pop a smoke grenade, the AI does not detect the smoke. It's just not built into their programming.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't have technically a quote unquote smoke grenade. Instead, they have the Panther ability, which is a mechanic in itself, which kind of just triggers the enemies to be like, oh, it's like a
Yeah, it like
flashbang
stuns them,
almost.
yeah.
Yeah, which was something I spoke about when talking about the abilities that the AI teammates should have been given. I think it would have benefited the players more, not only to be able to control when you have these abilities, but if Fury's ability was the Panther mechanic in a grenade form. So almost like a tossable flashbang for the AI teammates. I think that would have worked really well because then imagine if you give the player the ability to say when this mechanic is going to be used, players would actually be able to finally flashbang rooms, quote unquote, flashbang rooms with their AI teammates, and then kind of, breach the room in a sort of way and kind of feel like they're doing CQB a little more. So
Yeah, real
I don't
quick,
know. Yeah, that's why there's no flashlights, dude.
yeah,
We're
real
not gonna
quick, you
get it
can
until the AI.
admire this really terrible takeoff where I almost totally annihilated the
Okay,
aircraft.
wait. Oh,
Oh man, I almost botched that takeoff. But and that's like what you were saying too is like there's a lot of things that the enemy AI doesn't react to in this game. You know, like with this, like other things that they should, the smoke grenades that obviously we don't have, flashlights. It would be cool, because Tarkov does it. Tarkov does it really
yeah,
well because
yeah.
if you have your flashlight on, obviously other players and NPCs will react to that if they see it, as well as if you flick a flashlight on and shine an enemy in the face, he doesn't normally hit you because he can't see,
Yes,
you
like
know?
could you imagine that type of programming in a Ghost Recon game? It's almost as if either A, Ubisoft developers don't want to do it, B, they can't do it, or C, like we said before, maybe the engine is just so bad that the devs can't figure it out and they need programmers to actually build that into the system so the AI will respond to it so then they can create it. There's like so many ways to think about why it's not in the game. It's not just cut and dry like, oh, the devs won't do it. They might not have the AI just might not have the ability to react to these things to the point where the devs are like, yeah, if we do it, it's going to be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
why I
and,
feel
and and
like
we don't know.
playing all these other games too, it really makes you realize the things that are lacking in this game.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if and we've talked about this a number of times, and not to sound like a broken record, but if you have an indie developer studio with less than 100 developers working in the Unity engine, and they can have all the mechanics that they have in Escape from Tarkov, like I don't know, man. I feel like at least with that game is it's that game has a lot more attention to detail. This game was more like, hey, we're going to create this massive open world, which, hey, who knows moving forward, that might be part of the problem of having this massive, huge open world, and they just think that that's going to compensate for a lot of the other little things that we want. But they're like, hey, you got this massive open world. You either get a massive open world or, you know. But I
Well
feel as if
then, well then, you know what? Cut it in half. If
cut
it
it in half,
if it has
make
to
it
do with
more.
memory issues or anything like that, cut it in half and give us what we want.
Yep, it doesn't. We don't need a map like Wildlands did it better because Wildlands had a lot less emptiness, but still, you could easily cut that map in half and still have more than enough area to have fun and play in, and with a diversity of biomes in a map half that size, and then make it more dense, make it with more proper customization, AI controls, weapon customization, some super in-depth weapon customization, and then really work on the AI on the back end. So if you're wearing black camouflage, like out in the middle of like an open field, you're gonna get spotted from farther away. If you're wearing like a ghillie suit that matches the color of the grass and you're laying prone, they would practically have to step on you to see you.
Yep.
That's what we should be seeing. It's in a third person tactical shooter, So who knows? We could go down, like I said, we could go down this rabbit hole for hours and hours and hours and still never come out with what the devs are thinking or what the reasoning behind all this stuff is. So and then Dimitron850 in the chat says it would be difficult to implement a flashlight because the character doesn't always look at the camera. They always move around to the flashlight, so the flashlight would too. Yeah, see that's the little bit trickiness of between a third person and first person. It's a little easier to probably code that in the first person than it would be in a third person. The way the model moves. Um,
It's a really good point too, but if you always have the flashlight on the gun, the way the character moves in Breakpoint, even when you're walking towards the camera, the flashlight can be really directed at the floor. And then once you aim, the flashlight it comes up. But this also, maybe it's difficult to program flashlights because I remember playing Days Gone And Days Gone has the same movement system as Breakpoint. So you can walk any direction and rotate the camera any direction. But the flashlight always shined forward.
Yeah.
So if you were walking towards the camera, the flashlight was, you were walking 6 o'clock and the flashlight was at 12 o'clock. So there, as people who want to talk about games and what should be added, what shouldn't be added, what works, what doesn't work, it really would help if you know we knew what the hell we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because dude, this is hard shit. Software development is tedious. It's difficult to get this stuff to work. I don't knock anybody in this industry. Kudos to everybody who sits down day in and day out and does this as a profession. But, there are some things that we see, like you said, are being done in other games that make us wonder, hey, can we get this? Because this team over here has way less guys. They're a small indie development team and they're doing things that are going above and beyond in this space, which is the tac shooter space. And we kind of feel left out. Maybe we can get this and that and that and this. So it doesn't hurt to talk about it, but we also have to recognize that this is a tough profession. And if it's something I've learned in in all my time on this planet, is that you'd be surprised how many industries are filled with amateur workers.
Yeah.
So, don't be surprised that not every game that comes out is great, or that a Ubisoft or whatever company can't really perfect something, because sometimes it's just tough to do the things that the community wants and that people ask for. And yeah, you have to understand you might not get everything you want, but let's hope we get some things moving forward, because as it stands now, there are a lot of things in games like Tarkov or whatever we might name drop here that are doing a really good job at bringing this genre, at moving this genre forward.
Yeah. And then also I noticed that quite a few people caught that thing that happened there when I took off the helicopter there. I smacked into a tree and then my helicopter did a backflip and then I took
Yeah.
off going forwards. This is people in chat like that helo and then it's like, wait, was that a helicopter backflip? That escape. Yeah, I wasn't planning on that. I was planning on just backing away because they had them little miniature drones that were like on acid, like chasing after me. So I just like jumped in the helicopter and tried to bail and ran into a tree. So it wasn't the proper escape, but it was definitely cool.
It
Um,
worked.
and then Soggy Waffle says, "What do you think about the update?" Um, the new teammate experience part of the update is, me personally, is kind of eh. To rank up your AI teammates to level 15, it really takes. I mean, you're talking like 1 to 2 hours tops to rank them all the way up, and then at that point, you gain access to some skills that just seem out of place. They don't seem. If they would have allowed, like I said, we talked about this earlier in the stream, that if they would have allowed us to issue those commands on when the AI teammates would use those special abilities, I think it would have been a better situation. But the new cosmetics, the new character skins that they released, it's fun. I like the new ghillie suits. I like being able to play as Valkyrie and Nock from Rainbow Six Siege, especially Nock. Oh my god, that skin is so good. Except for that little pouch.
That's
Except for that
broken,
little
dude.
pouch,
That's
yeah.
broken. You know, it costs money, so I don't know if it'll get priority to be fixed. But you best believe the community is going to bring that to their attention ASAP, because
Yeah, I don't
that's
understand
broken.
like where, like if it was because of where it was on like the character model mesh and like the underneath layers of it or whatever, but that pouch shouldn't move.
Yeah, I'm trying
It
to figure
should
out
be
how that got
square.
past, uh, like the quality
Right? Yeah,
assurance
because that
people.
because this update was certified, so there's not going to be any changes to this update. It was
Oof.
certified.
Ugh.
How does
I
that make
almost,
it
I
past
almost
certification?
I almost don't want to buy it just because, like, oh, I gotta watch that thing move all funky, weird. Like, it's definitely animated wrong. It's definitely pulling in a direction with the bone structure. I don't know.
Yeah.
They gotta fix that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I don't know how that made it past certification. Little things like that, which is I feel as if they would have had like some other community members working in on it a little bit. testing it wise. Like, I mean, you got to have testers. How does the testers not see that? Or do they just like import the skin and just roll with it? But that's the thing is, Nock wasn't in Wildlands, was she?
No. Oh, wait. I would have to go back and look.
I don't think
But
so. I don't think Nock. I think Nock was like a brand new operator. I don't think they were in Wildlands.
I don't know, dude. All I know is that that should not get like they should have held off on that skin if they couldn't get it right. That's not right to charge people for something that isn't 100%, you know, clean because that's definitely a quote unquote bug. That was animated wrong. It was, you know, rendered out wrong and implemented, and now people are going to be looking at a pouch just warp back and forth. It warps, you know,
Yeah,
the whole thing skews.
yeah. And there's a bunch of people in chat saying that no, she wasn't in Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's like a new skin.
Oh
So,
yeah, she wasn't even released yet, period. So she seems to be a new
oh,
character
that's true.
in Rainbow Six.
So where do you like? What did they do? Did they like import that skin somehow and then like lay it over the top of another character model mesh, and that's
No, it's
why?
no, it's probably they built it from the ground up, and it's someone they made a mistake. It didn't get picked up, or after all is said and done, they realize it and they're like, "Who cares? Just release it." And that's the shit that pisses me off. Like, there's no way you after playing with it for 5 seconds, you should see this skin's messed up. Send it back. You know,
Yeah.
tell Jean Claude he needs to fix the skin.
Yeah, supposedly the butcher, what is this? The butcher of Blaviken says the back plate also warps. I did not see that.
Oh, she
Oh,
might just be, yeah, that entire skin might be broken. Yeah, you were kind of playing with it in the dark. So later on, you should probably go back in and check it
I
out.
played. Like I said, there'll be a video going up throughout this week of I did like a wolf base takedown with that skin in the daytime, and I noticed the pouch. I didn't really notice the back plate.
Maybe the pouch was so obvious that you overlooked the back plate.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. You check it out. How about this? Is and hunting card? I don't believe so. But how about Nomad's new icon vest? Is it just the skin, or is it actually in the store or in Maria's shop?
Uh, I think that's just a skin.
That, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think that's just the skin, and they basically didn't they updated the skin, but they have like the old one that wasn't the right skin, and then they have this new one that's more in line with what we saw in the reveal trailer. Um, but I feel as if too a lot of people were talking about is it still doesn't quite look where it did,
No,
and
yeah.
and like even what I mentioned in my video that I put up this morning, it took a year and a half to get the proper skins that were in the game when you revealed it. Like, where were those skins?
You know,
Where were they?
where are how many? I would love to know how many 3D artists does Ubisoft Paris have? I mean, they don't even need Paris to work on it. Any one of their teams from Montreal, Quebec, you know, anyone could work on a model and then just ship it over. So I want to know why it takes so long to get these models out. I'm assuming they have some talented 3D artists, so it leads me to believe that it just comes to cutting costs, or not so much cutting costs, just, you know, cutting the time it takes to really get this stuff out. Realistically, if these skins are not the actual skins that we see in the trailers, it was a waste of time to update them because the community is gonna be right back on shitting on it for them not being the actual skins,
Yeah.
which is what they want.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
they had multiple advertisements, even like the live action trailers where you had like the dudes and then you had like Lil Wayne and the other guys like playing on
Mm-hmm.
the couch of
Yeah.
like even those like live action character models of Nomad, Fix It, Vasily, and Fury had the proper skins. Like all of that was what was in the reveal trailer, what we saw during the reveal live stream of the cinematic trailer. And then we also saw like the 13-minute gameplay trailer where they, showcased the injury mechanics and then the sliding down the hill mechanics and then the prone
Yeah.
camo mechanics and then they go in and rescue that chick from that wolf base. All of that, like Where, during that stream, when you obviously had to record that gameplay somehow, like there was 4 people playing on PC to record that trailer at some point. Where were those skins?
Well, you don't, dude. This brings me all the way back to 2013 and the Division. I don't want to say that they're still doing it, but in 2013, the original Division reveal was not gameplay. It was a completely out of engine CGI rendered uh uh make pretend sort of say footage of what gameplay would look like. They went into 3D Max or Maya or whatever whatever they use. They created all these assets and everything, and I don't know if it was in engine, out of engine. I'm not going to speculate. I just know it was fake, right? Because when you look at the 2013 Division footage, and then you look at what happened a couple years later when they finally released more, the animations were different, the textures were different, everything was different. So
Yeah,
that original 2013 footage was definitely done in CGI to make it look like it was people playing the game.
yeah,
So at this point in time, I would not put it past these studios who don't show in-engine actual gameplay that these are all just fake put together gameplay footage that is not real. It's not actually in the game. So that's why you see these game models or these character models, you see them in these trailers, they look nothing like what the models are in the game when it comes out with these Ubisoft titles because it's not the same thing. Otherwise, you would have it in the game already.
yeah,
But since it's not created in the source, it's not in engine at that point in time. That means they're creating it out of engine, and that leads me to believe that they have their 3D team working on those trailers, and everything else that's in engine you don't see until well later.
yeah. Penguin Overlord says, "Oh God, don't remind me of the Little Wayne marketing. I had almost forgotten it." He says, "Sup, player? Get it? Cause we playing a game." Oh, dude, yeah, that was cringy. It was definitely cringy.
Yeah.
And then Nigel King with the $4.99 super chat says, "Happy birthday, bro! And do you guys think Operation Motherland is gonna be dope? I don't know. We have literally zero, absolute zero information on Operation Motherland. I mean, technically, we're not even supposed to know that it's Operation Motherland, but if they didn't want us to know that, the little black slash mark through the word wouldn't have actually contained the word. It would have
Yeah.
just been an absolute black, so you wouldn't have been able to read it. So
Yeah.
when you hue the colors and you can see that it says Motherland, you know, if they didn't want us to know that, they shouldn't have did it that way. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? Who knows if it's going to end the story, or like you were talking about earlier, are they going to continuously release, small DLCs and stuff like that moving forward? Who knows?
I don't know, but I know this. If Operation Motherland isn't taking place on Moa Island, which it's not because it's been confirmed Moa Island isn't coming to us this year, that means we're either going to get a super surprise like Warlords of New York, which is not going to happen because I thought Moa Island would be the Warlords of New York for Ghost Recon,
Yeah,
like Warlords of New York was for the Division. So then that only leads one other thing that the entirety of Operation Motherland is going to take place on Moa Island. And how the hell is that going to excite anyone? So if they don't have a trick up their sleeve with like, boom, it's a deal, it's an update where you go somewhere else, which it's not going to be because that would be so much work. I would assume they'd want to charge money for it. Also, I'd assume that, like I said, Moa Island was going to be the thing that they would build from the ground up to do that. So that means literally there's nothing else. Like that's it. It's going to be Operation Motherland on Aroa. New missions maybe. Maybe they'll add some structures on Aroa that'll pop up like they did with Operation Amber Sky. They
yeah.
created the breach areas, so maybe they could make new areas in the game, but really, what could it actually be that's going to excite anyone?
I don't know. Let's do Operation Motherland and then just take us back to Bolivia.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
Do
saying.
it.
Maybe it would be something crazy where it is something where it's like they take us out of Aroa completely. But
Yeah.
would they really do that for something that's free? I don't know.
No.
I don't
And
know,
then
but
Riley McQuillan with the $5 Canadian super chat. Now let me try to read this exactly how he has it here. So it says Ghost Reconless Operation Wiggle Mission Objectives Rescue for General Gamer 1337 from endless torture of Breakpoint and infiltrate Ubisoft HQ to lead. Ugh. I mean,
oh shit.
I don't know, man. I feel as if maybe they need a new creative director.
Oh, dude, you don't have to say I don't know. I've been
Sign
on
me
that
up.
shit since
Any
since.
devs from Ubisoft in here? I have no experience whatsoever as any sort of anything with gaming. I just know I have some really good ideas that could help shape the next game and make it at least an 80 plus Metacritic. Like what was Breakpoint's Metacritic?
It's got to be in the 60s.
I'm gonna
It has
Google
to
that
be.
real quick.
Shit, it might be in the 40s. I'm gonna assume six. I'm gonna go with 66.
Trying to do this so it like doesn't pick up my keyboard.
Wait up. Whatever. I got it.
Um, Breakpoint for PC 58.
Wow.
58 by the critics, 2.7 user score.
Ugh. Oh my god. The
Uh,
users might be right.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint for PS4 has a 56 Metascore with a 2.9 user score.
Wow. Oh
And
man.
then
These guys got freaking abused.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint for Xbox has a 62 with a 3.3 user score. That's just because the whole Xbox community is super positive. I don't know. I don't know. There's like multiple games where it's like it's a multi-platform game and it literally plays identical between the two consoles, and one will have a higher meta than the other. Which I don't know. Oh boy, who knows?
Yeah, no, but I agree. If anybody was going to get the boot or get replaced or get moved around, it's two sets of people. It's the creative team and the writing. The writing is bad, and the creative guys who are thinking up everything to do for the developers to then sit there and create, those guys really missed the mark. And then the writers on top of it, I don't know what they write half the time. It's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to even get like even like a Skype call or a Zoom call or whatever that is that all that you trendy kids use nowadays during the pandemic. And just get on with somebody that is in that department at Ubisoft Paris, for instance, and be like, so what's the game plan moving forward? Which obviously they would never tell me, but
Yeah.
like at that point, be like, well, why don't you guys do this? And then literally list off all of these ideas that myself, you, everybody else in the community that's been talking about that from a programming aspect, yeah, some of the things might be a little more expensive than what they want to do because they just want to be able to use the same engine, use the same mechanics across the board in all their games. That doesn't make good games. Like Valhalla was a good game. It was received well, had a good Metacritic, a lot of people loved it. The DLC was, but Ghost Recon isn't that kind of game. When what they turned Breakpoint into, this is not the proper way Ghost Recon should be built. It's a third person. I mean, I would say a third person semi-realistic tactical military shooter. It doesn't have to be Arma, but it also doesn't need to be Grand Theft Auto. Like or something. It's probably not the right.
I'd rather more Grand Theft Auto than more freaking Witcher, which is what I
True.
feel like it is.
Yeah.
Which is what I feel like they after The Witcher, and I saw Origins and then Odyssey and now Breakpoint. They obviously were influenced heavily by The Witcher. And that's the problem with Breakpoint, with what you're saying. We should not be talking to, Billy Bob Joe in the middle of Fen Bog who lost his pet frog and have three, and every time you talk to them, there's three options. Oh, I'll say this. No, I'll say this. No, I'll say this. And sit there in a boring dialogue that is just mundane and has nothing to do with what this franchise and this genre should be about. They hit it better with Wildlands, where it was like, look, you captured a dude right at the end. You got a little cutscene in between going from one guy to the next. You got a little video explaining what's going on. That was really good. It was fluid. I don't think this community needs. We don't need a Witcher 3. We don't need a Last of Us. I don't want to sit here for 30 hours and play an interactive movie. Right? The meat of what we want is in the gameplay, it's in the mechanics. People on the forums, on Reddit, when we're here having these discussions live, everything is about what's up with this mechanic, what's up with that mechanic. Nobody ever says, why isn't this cutscene look better? Why, so they need to recognize that whatever foundation they laid out to create their games in this manner is not going to work moving forward for Ghost Recon.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to like the cinematics, or not cinematics, but the cutscenes, Wildlands cutscenes was the right way to do it.
Yeah, it was like a nice sweet spot. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
too much, it wasn't too little. It kept me engaged in the story, but it kept me in the game. When I
Correct.
have to sit there for 5 minutes and each thing, whether it's A, B, or C, it's all the same thing. None of it matters. It's just like, dude, this is pointless. I
Yeah.
don't care.
A dialogue choice, cinematic story does not belong in a tax shooter.
Yo, Foxer said, "Why don't I want to help Bob find his frog? Why?"
See, little things like that, like, and that's the thing is like what we've talked about before when we were playing Wildlands. You have all these like pointless side missions and faction missions that just absolutely go nowhere. I personally would rather do the rebel missions. At least
Yeah.
there's a little bit of substance to those. And for instance, the ones where you get, you could get into like the rebel radios. So you have a few cartel guys that show up. Not really that hard, but there's always the chance that a Unidad patrol might drive by and then all shit just breaks loose. You got helicopters coming because the Unidad's going full force on you just because they happen to drive by when you were, messing with the cartel. Or for instance, and we've seen it that one day when we were playing where um, we were trying to take down one of like the high value targets in the cars to get the intel, and like we got into a car chase with them, and then like a split second later there was 4 cartel vehicles like on our tail,
Hmm.
like trying to be like, you messing with the boss, you messing
Yeah.
with the boss, we're gonna mess with you. Like little things like that, and I don't know. I could
Little
go I
things
could
like that, little things like that that were in Wildlands years ago that were not in Breakpoint now leads me to believe from one of the first questions that I answered, it's not the engine. They either didn't have enough time to do this stuff or they were going in a different direction where again they didn't have the time to do this stuff, but it showcases, they can build out these systems. They just didn't do it for Breakpoint. So let's hope they do it for the next game, because it's true. If you're in Wildlands and you experience that, it's amazing. But then when you come to Breakpoint, you realize, yo, dude, I'm driving on the road. There's none of that. There's none of that.
yeah,
I
the
get
only thing
attacked
you
by
come
one Jeep.
yeah,
It's like, yo,
the only thing you come across on the road is an occasional enemy vehicle. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
There's literally no civilian. The only civilian vehicles you see around the world are just these random pickup trucks that are parked next to this futuristic looking building out in the middle of nowhere.
But there's no buildup. There's no, if when you encounter that one Jeep, the second one doesn't come. And then the third one doesn't come. And
Yep.
then the fourth one doesn't come. And then before you know it, you're surrounded by 10, 15, 20 guys and you're in an all out war. And that leads back obviously to this Unidad mechanic that's non existent, that doesn't give the player the opportunity to move between the polar opposite ends of the spectrum, which is stealth and all out warfare, all out combat. You get the stealth aspect, and then you get the combat aspect in these compounds, which is about 20, 30 guys, but then that's it. That's it. There's no escalation of war in this game, and that's a mechanic that's missing. That's a mechanic we've seen that can be created in Wildlands. So that's yet something else that I hope they understand is vital to this game.
Yeah. And then Huxley Molina says the
Or
fan.
more so this franchise.
Yeah. He says that the fan-made Gunsmith rework 2.0, I guess, that I discussed a long time ago would be a huge turn on for us gamers as gun enthusiasts. Yeah, that was the Gunsmith rework I did on the Reddit post by McBillion, where
Yeah.
he went like super in depth with the weapon customization and being able to like craft your own signature weapons and putting different little things on it that are like for instance specifically tied to skins that are in this game. So we have the new M4A1 Survival that has like little tally marks, carved on the side or etched on the side of the gun for I'm assuming kills. It has the paracord, wrapped around multiple different sections, the paracord wrapped around the suppressor. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? Why does it have to be a skin? And Escape from Tarkov doesn't even have that. Like, Escape from Tarkov doesn't have that kind of weapon customization when you can kind of put the little accents and stuff on the gun. Theirs is just full, super in-depth mod system when it comes down to, like, the suppressors, the barrels, the gas systems, the foregrips, the pistol grips, the stocks, the triggers, you know, different sight mounts and all that stuff. Their weapon customization is super in-depth, and that's just attachments and mods. That has nothing to do with the way the skin or there's no weapon camos or anything. And there is so many people that appreciate that gunsmith or weapon customization system, and it's made by a studio of less than 100 developers. And they bragged at the start of Wildlands that they had over 1,000 developers. Well, not at the start of Wildlands, at the start of, maybe it was the start of Breakpoint, because it was at the tail end of Wildlands. They had 1,000 people on the Ghost Recon dev team. You have 1,000 developers, and you can't you take more things away from the gunsmith.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the big things too at the start. How do you go from like the Future Soldier gunsmith to Wildlands? Wasn't that different? They did take a couple of things away that a lot of people enjoyed, like the gas system and stuff. But how do you go from the Wildlands gunsmith to the Breakpoint gunsmith thinking that that's a better system?
Well, shit, how do you go from the Future Soldier?
Well, I mean, they had the majority of the things that you could do in Future Soldier in the Gunsmith and Wildlands. You lost the gas system, and then a couple of the different, the different ammo types that you could use, like the
But
different.
you see the degradation
Right.
from one to the next. It's backwards. That usually, like, this industry is the other way around. You build upon things and make it better.
I don't know if that was their way on the back end thinking, all right, maybe we can monetize this easier if we take their weapon customization away and then lock it to variants. Maybe that was their thought process. But
Hey,
being the fact that,
the business guys, you never know. You never know.
and that's the other thing too. Like, I get it's a business. I get it. I get they're in it to make money. It is a business at the end of the day. But when you make decisions that take one game from the next, and you make the systems in the game worse just to try to switch it up and make more money on like the back end. Those dudes need to do. They need a different job
Well,
because
let's hope that moving forward they can utilize things like skins and cosmetics and not so much skimp out on an important feature like the gunsmith, in which people want to have complete control of how to create their weapons. Because that's not, if it was that way, which I don't know, it kind of sounds like it might have been when you look at the three different types of gunsmiths between the three different games. That kind of makes like that makes sense to that they thought, hey, we can take this away and incorporate it in type of variants in which we can get people to perhaps pay money for. So who knows? But that's speculation.
yeah.
Yo, Havoc, what up, bro?
Snake D1M Star. What happened to that supposedly Green Beret guy? That was the guy that supposedly was in the military for 15 years, and he was like the story guy that wrote the story, I guess, or worked with the story for Breakpoint. I don't know. Like, I get the concept they were going with the whole, and that's the thing too. When you think back of how the dev cycle worked, what came first? Did they build out the open world and we're like, all right, well now what we need to do, we need to make a story that makes it so that the island's on lockdown, so we don't have to make NPCs. We don't have to have a living world because it's all on it's martial law
Well,
on the island.
I think it's half of that, right? So the guys who create the map, they don't know, they have no rhyme or reason as to what's going to happen in this map. I have a feeling they're just here's the concept art. These are the concepts. Create this map. They sit down and they build it. Then the designers come in and they take the story and they figure out how they're going to make the story flow. I don't think they build it at the same time together. The reason I think this is because when you look at fast traveling and you look at how messed up the story is, as referring to how you move around the game map, it makes no sense that the first mission you crash land, you go all the way to Erewhon, right? Right after that, you have to go all the way north to find Fox. Then you gotta go all the way east to find like Josiah Hill. Then you gotta go all the way. So it's not kind of like they carve out this linear path for you to go through, which leads me to believe that they make the game map and then the rest of the people figure it out. As far as like civilians and all that, that probably came later where they were like, yo, we got to cut this out. Maybe we'll just write into the story that it's the island's on lockdown. But yeah, as far as like the writers, the game designers, the mission makers, I don't think any of them really work together to form one cohesive thought process to how they're going to create it. I think there's so many moving parts in Ubisoft in which we know when you say there 1,000 people worked on this game, there's no way in hell that all of these people are communicating with each other.
Yeah.
They get their job and then they do it. So
That's
I
that's
wouldn't doubt.
that's that system too with possibly Anvil Next. They have all this baseline stuff where all these games are running similar operations. It's like, okay, well, this is my job today. I don't have to communicate and be creative with somebody else because I know that I'm just working on this back end system that's the same as Assassin's Creed and it's the same as this, same as that. You know,
Yeah.
who knows? And then also where to go hunting hard too. It says just because someone is a badass Green Beret does not mean he can write a good military story. LOL.
That very true.
Very
Very
true.
true. If that guy was the lead writer to this, his uh him serving has like he probably had this like this dream to write and do this, and it's like, yo bro, just it wasn't for you, man, or at least this wasn't your Oscar winning performance, because boy, you hit it on the head there, man. Just because you served does not mean you could write.
Yeah, and then Snake D1 M Star says Sentinel needs plate carriers and helmets and hair! Exclamation point. I'm tired of taking down bald men in black t-shirts. Well, that's the thing too, is then they start hollering at you like, oh, I swear those new audio cues they put on, like, oh, they got TJ's down. Like, insert random name with said voice line.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Which is a good touch. When I first experienced that, I enjoyed it, and they added a lot more since the launch came out. I
yeah.
like it feels nice when it's like, oh shit, they got Charlie 1, or Delta 3 is down. Like I kind of like that.
Yeah, wait till you guys see the gameplay. I'm not sure exactly what day it's gonna go up of when I go in and take down full stealth a base with the new ghillie suit and the M4A1 survival. There's a part where I get discovered. I'm not gonna try to like give everything away, but there's a part where I get discovered and I have to like bail off into some bushes in the ghillie suit and then do like the prone camouflage, and I'm like surrounded by like 8 different enemies and they all have this chatter going back and forth. It was actually really cool because there was like some of the dialogue that they were talking I'd never heard before, because I tried to go for that stealth zero detection gameplay, and this dude, found a body, and then they were starting to kind of catch on to me, and I dove into some bushes and went prone camo, and they got within maybe 20 or 30 feet and were walking around kind of like talking like, where is he and all this other stuff. Like, it was kind of cool. and some of that dialogue I didn't even realize was in the game. So it was kind of like, all right, how long are you guys gonna stand in the rough area of where I am, continuously hollering that somebody's there, but we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so this ghillie set, someone just said it, and someone said it before. Or I think Abyss said it before, and someone just said it now about it blows so much in the slight wind. The physics to the ghillie head is just a little too much, man.
Yeah, the
I
ghillie
would have,
head. Yeah, look
I
at
would
yeah,
have
yeah.
rather it,
The ghillie head is busted.
yeah, just
This particular ghillie head, the
just
one
make
that's the one that's
round.
free, doesn't
Oomph.
do that. It just literally stays draped down.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't understand what if they realize it's that like right here, boom. Like why can't it just stay like that? It doesn't have to move so much.
Well, that's the thing too, is when you go into photo mode, it locks it where it's supposed to be.
And that's how it should just stay locked.
It just should stay
Even
locked.
if the wind
Like
blows,
it could
I'd
move a
rather
little bit, just have a little like sort of jiggle to it, a little bit of movement, but it should stay down tight around the side of your head. Because I
yeah,
sent you, like with oh, I'm trying to remember what it was the other day when I had like it was a super weird clipping thing where it was like blowing sideways and you could actually see it sticking out the other side of his head because
yeah.
it was clipping through his entire head. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's just like the core mesh or how that works, but like yeah, I don't know.
Well,
And
the
then you're
thing
also
is,
gonna see real quick in this gameplay, real quick right here. I didn't realize that Fury wasn't in the vehicle yet, and I take off, and then she just like zip morphs, like flies over into the back seat of the car.
and the thing is that either the physics system or the way they have it animated. But even when I first got the Walker skin, I thought it was terrible because the way the cape moves is just like, no thanks.
Yeah. William Martinez said, Ubisoft developer Dominic Butler knew what we really needed in Wildlands. He is MIA in Breakpoint. We have not seen him since Wildlands.
We spoke about this, bro. He is listed on Breakpoint, on the Breakpoint team,
Interesting.
right? Isn't that, didn't we speak about that like a week or
I don't
so?
know. I don't remember.
Remember you were like, oh, this was the dude in
Different
Wildlands.
guy. It wasn't Dominic Butler.
Okay, who was that?
That was I'm trying to remember what his name was, but he was the guy, like the lead, one of the lead guys, the creative director on
Yeah.
Wildlands, which a lot of the guys that was in that like community program for Wildlands had like spoke really really highly of him. And I thought, "Oh, maybe that's why Wildlands was so much better." But he's the creative director on Breakpoint, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, different guy. Not Dominic Butler.
Yeah, yeah. Who was that we were talking about? It doesn't matter. So who was
That
Dominic Butler?
Eric Cusane.
Was
I
that
think
who
I
it
think
was?
that might have been what his name
What
was.
did Dominic Butler do for Wildlands?
Yeah, I don't know. Um, the stealth. Let's see, Snake. The Snake was probably it. No, I feel like the
He's
Fallen Ghost DLC enemies would give Sentinel and the Wolves a run for their money. Yeah, dude. Speaking of that,
project's director.
like Sentinel is soft. The Wolves are soft. Like compared to Unidad and even I don't remember what they were officially called. Like the baddies from the Fallen Ghost DLC. Those dudes you did not want to mess with. They had some crazy, like I wouldn't say futuristic kit, but like they were a formidable opponent. Like they were a more formidable opponent than either of the enemy's factions that are in Breakpoint. So
Yo, you know what? Oscar makes a good point here. Right? So Oscar says sometimes the reality of the state of Breakpoint destroys the hype for the new content, right? So not even the new content that comes out tomorrow, just in general. If they keep putting out like little lackluster things where they could maybe just make a dime off of you going into the store, what does that really say about the state of this game? How is anybody going to get hype? How is this game going to recover? The franchise going to recover if they keep putting out this type of lackluster content? You know what this feels like? This feels like an in between. This feels like in between content. This feels like something that should have come in between two major title updates.
yeah,
But instead, this is the major title update, only one of two this year. So we get this. We're going to go in game. we'll level our characters for an hour or two, and then we're back to, okay, wait, what the hell do I do now? I still have the same game that I've been playing this entire time. And then you have to sit there and wait and wonder now for the next 3, 4, 5 months again to see what Operation Motherland is going to have for us. So,
Yeah.
oh man.
You go back and play Wildlands.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yep. Is there somebody in chat right now named Jesus or Jesus? Somebody's, because that was supposedly the guy's contact that's been spewing all that stuff on Twitter about Hunter Team coming to the new
No.
DLC. That his contact was just like codename Jesus. So yeah, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if there's any truth behind that. I don't have any. I literally, even in Delta Company, I have zero information on exactly what Operation Motherland or whatever that DLC is going to be. But
Yeah.
obviously, other than the fact that it has Karen Bowman, which we all already know anyway, which you would almost think it either has some ties to Wildlands in some way, shape, or form, because obviously that's the last time we saw her, or you think about Motherland, I immediately jump to like Russia, which you could immediately kind of jump into Future Soldier esque, but how would you tie that in? You know, I still don't understand. Like even with Wildlands, we had like the Ghost Lead character skin or the icon skin. How come we didn't have the entire team? Like how come we didn't have Kozak, 30K, and Pepper? Those skins were so cool in Future Soldier. But we got all the Rainbow Six Siege. You know, we got multiple Rainbow Six Siege operators in this game that weren't even a part of the DLC, and I don't know.
Yo, it kind of makes me angry because it makes me think that they don't even trust in their own community, that they just are trying to bring people from the rainbow community over,
Yeah,
because that shit doesn't make any sense for real. You would think a priority for a Ghost Recon game would to be to create Ghost Recon content first. So you create a story that really it comes and goes. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like they've continued it, and I doubt Operation Motherland will either when it comes to Operation Amber Sky. That came and went. What it's like, okay, they could have just as easily had your hunter squad come in for something like that. Oh, we're doing this, blah blah blah, and then they leave, and then you're like, it doesn't matter. None of it makes sense anyway.
yeah.
So
All
basically, just
these
give content and give people the skins and the items that they want.
real quick, John Ramsey, but didn't Bowman get arrested for killing Sueño? That was not the canon ending. From what we know, if you actually go in depth with the lore of Ghost Recon Wildlands, the canon ending is where they get a bunch of, he gets the plea deal and you get a bunch of information from El Sueño and you take down dozens and dozens of other drug cartels throughout the world, and then eventually like he escapes. That, to from what I understand, is the canon ending, which is why Bowman is not in prison, obviously. So I don't know how many more, any more to elaborate on that. What's it says here? You think Ubisoft will return Ghost Recon Future Soldier like first gameplay E3 demo? Dude, even I just watched that the other day because it popped up in my recommended section. Because if you go back and you look at the E3 demo for Ghost Recon Future Soldier, that is not how the game turned out whatsoever. It was completely different. Completely different. Like, not even close. It was cool. It was a cool concept, but somewhere along those lines, something shifted. Something
Ubisoft
shifted.
demos are fake.
Yes, dude. I mean, it was actually a gameplay though. It was a live demo. They had the guy up on stage with an Xbox 360 controller. Whether or not that was actually him playing, but it was an actual gameplay. But the gameplay demo from E3 was not at all how the game ended up turning out. Like I almost feel as if like that's like a what if moment. Like if the game would have came out like the demo, it might have been even more fun than Future Soldier was. So and then Prototype 2161 says, how would you feel if they added Future Soldier content? I'd love it. I'm like a broken record when it comes to Hunter Team and Ghost Recon Future Soldier. I don't know why they haven't put it in the game already. The timelines line up so perfectly with Future Soldier and Breakpoint. Why there's no content from Future Soldier in this game yet is
Probably
just
coming more.
mind-boggling.
That's it. That's what it is.
What's that?
Motherland is probably going to be it.
Maybe. And I will say this, and you guys can all take note of this. I don't think I've put it in a YouTube video yet, but you can call out Ubisoft if this is how it goes down. So I talked to the developers last year, like around the time that the Splinter Cell DLC came out. So that would have been April, March of 2020.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, it would be really cool if you guys decided to at any point do like a Future Soldier DLC to have Nomad and his squad be like in a pinch and like he's surrounded by wolves and all this other stuff, and then you just kind of hear like a crackling over the radio, and you hear like Ghost Lead, which at that time was Sergeant Ferguson from, or Captain Ferguson from Hunter Team, come over the radio and just say like, you know, take him down or something, and then all of the wolves just get taken out, and then you have all of Hunter Team just sort of appear with their optical camouflage. I talked to the developers and gave them that idea. So if by some crazy chance that happens in Operation Motherland, that came from my head, not them. I'm just throwing that out there.
Royalties.
Right? I'll take them to court and lose. There ain't no way I'd win that.
Nope.
And then William says, Future Soldier pack in the store. In Wildlands, there was a Future Soldier pack that just had Ghost Lead. It didn't have 30k Pepper or Kozak. So, but yeah, I would love some Future Soldier content. I've been talking about that from day one. I feel like it's those costumes, that game. There's no reason that we haven't seen Hunter Team come back. I feel as if their battle chatter in Future Soldier was as good as, if not better than, the chatter between the Ghosts in Wildlands. So, have you discussed tactical micromanagement of squads with UB developers? Said Zach Parker. I am not the only one. We had AI Blue Fox, and he's a very reputable person in the Ghost Recon community, said the exact same thing. When they, in the article, they said that have no fear, no need to micromanage, and we were all like, what? Why? That's what I wanted. I wanted to micromanage, and even he said that on the Discord, was like, that's a huge disconnect, because that is exactly what the community didn't want, was the fact that they had absolutely no control. But at this point in the game, do they really want to, you know, change all the back end systems? Because it doesn't seem like that would be a thing they could do. So,
I don't know. That's definitely
Asenso says
bullshit.
that Future Soldier idea is fire. I thought about that. Like I said, that was way back during the future, or not the Future Soldier, but the Splinter Cell DLC, because Sam Fisher was supposed to go get the cavalry, and I was like, yo, what if the cavalry is they just send in Hunter Team, and they just like in like a cutscene or something, like at the start of the DLC, Nomad and his team is in a pinch, and he gets rescued by Hunter Team, like coming out of thin air in their optical camouflage, and then they have to work on a plan to disable the drone swarm to get off the island. Like, that's the whole point of the DLC. And that's what I gave that entire spiel to a couple of the community managers over a year ago now. So if that ends up panning out, that came from my head. It didn't, like, if you're like, oh my god, this DLC is so good, well, that didn't come from them. And if it's absolute trash, it didn't come from me. So, oh man. Michael Lopez said, A Squad, was there any mention of Skeltech in any other Ghost Recon game besides Wildlands Breakpoint? Was my first, I believe, in, oh boy, I think in Future Soldier they do mention that it's Skeltech, the optical camouflage suits and stuff. I want to say don't
That's why
quote
that
me, but I think
tie it in. It would make sense if they
I
tie it in
I
somehow.
think it's mentioned. I know it's mentioned in Wildlands with the Kozak mission, little brother. But I want to say that at some point in Future Soldier, they do mention that it's Skeltech. So, also everybody that's wishing happy birthday in the chat, I appreciate it. I know that I haven't been saying anything back to a lot of you guys. I see some guys kind of popping in and saying that. So, yes, they did say that it was made by Skell. Yeah. Lara Croft Tomb Raider saves Nomad, dude. No, no, Riley, no.
No, yes, yes.
No,
Lara
that would make
Croft
sense the
Nomad
way
Kit.
Breakpoint's
And,
panned out.
and in the next title update, Nomad gets a jump mechanic, and we can jump from mountain to mountain.
Jesus. What is this? Taikyo's Nightmare. Should Ghost Recon Breakpoint get an audio redesign? It's not going to happen. The weapons sound like a textbook hitting a desk. Yeah, well,
Do you remember when the game first came out, they had updated it because that people were complaining about that on day one, and then there was a quote unquote fix, like, oh, the weapons sound even better now. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. Sam Fisher mission in Wildlands also mentioned Skell. Yeah, I think they were kind of setting it up. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure if it was mentioned in Future Soldier. I want to say that I thought 30K mentioned it when they were talking about the tech, the suit, because in like the second or third mission when they're on the aircraft carrier or something like that, I think when they're just testing out the suits, trying to get them to work inside their bunk. Um, Give us an actual exosuit. I think that's a little too futuristic, and for my opinion, for a Ghost Recon game. I know they had the one in Wildlands, but um, will they make a Splinter Cell game led? Wait, what? Will it? Will they make a Splinter Cell game led by Guy Daughter, like
no,
Sarah Fisher?
yeah. Oh, I hope not.
I feel as if like that would go against, like, I know that there's no mainstream storyline where Sarah was a badass. That's all stuff that's kind of like got created out of thin air because
Yeah,
Sam would have been pissed,
yeah,
and that was the entire reason. Like, if you guys actually go back and listen to the OG Michael Ironside interviews when he talks about playing Sam Fisher, he turned it down like multiple times, and Ubisoft was like, well, why do you keep turning it down? And he's like, you're like, in a nutshell, he's like, your story's ass, doesn't make any sense. There's no there's no lifeblood to the character, and that's the whole reason that Sarah Fisher's character even exists, is because Michael Ironside created her to kind of give Sam that, the tie-in with the family aspect of it. He's a rogue dude, he does some really shady stuff, but he also still has, the family side of things with his daughter and all that stuff. And that was all Michael Ironside. Like, he turned down the role of Sam Fisher like 3 or 4 times before they're like, what do we have to do for you to say yes? And he's like, well, you really want to hear what I think? And that's how the first few Splinter Cell games became some of the, greatest stealth story games of all time. So Hoffman Otto says the tactical belt just makes my character look gay. Yeah, we don't need to get started on the tactical belt. Do you think the new Deagle is hinting at new gunsmith update? Nah, it's just a skin. It's part of the survival series. Val says, do you think they'll end up adding a feature to separate the masks and scarves? That way you're not forced to choose one over. No. It's probably because of clipping issues. They don't want to have to worry about taking the time to actually make the models so that they don't clip. So they just make it so that you can't wear them both. Which is why all the ghillie hoods are in the face mask slot and not the head slot. Do the updated teammates actually talk to each other? They talk to each other before. The chatter really hasn't gotten any better. They just do all their stuff. Penguin Overlord said no. Sarah was in the OG Splinter Cell novel written by Tom Clancy. Well, I think like I didn't. I think I worded that wrong. I think Ubisoft in the game didn't want Sam Fisher to be that character from the novel. They wanted him to be like a crazy mercenary, no ties to anyone. And Michael Ironside wanted to bring some humility, I guess, or something like that to the character. So I think I worded that wrong. I'd love a Wildlands remaster. Just go back and play it. It's not that old.
Yeah, I don't really understand the obsession with wanting to remaster a game that's a few years old unless you want to completely redo the game. The game doesn't need a remaster. It looks great, it plays great, it feels like a game of today. But then if you get into things like, okay, I want Wildlands with breakpoint animations, but I want Wildlands, then you're getting to the point where, well, that's not really a remaster. You're just looking for that feel of Wildlands or the gameplay of Wildlands with, updated features
Yeah.
because Wildlands it's only a few years old, man.
Yeah.
If we get to the point where we start asking for remasters of games that are a few years old, that's a little. I think that would be a waste of time and resources on for Ubisoft when Wildlands is still a very good game to purchase right now and play if you never have. So, but I do understand. I would love if Wildlands somehow moved like Breakpoint. The animations, I'd be like, oh man, that would be awesome. But that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah. I will say that this is kind of like a completely side topic. I just saw somebody talking about like the Rainbow Six operators. Um, where's Blackbeard? Where's
Oh,
Blackbeard?
bro, why? Like they already had what's Lion's female's counterpart's name?
I
Does
don't know.
anybody know? Anyway, Lion is the yellow guy. We got the female version of him in Operation Amber Sky. So was there really did we have to get Lion in this update? Couldn't we have gotten Blackbeard or some really badass looking operators? Because for real, I feel you, man. Blackbeard was probably the most coveted skin in Wildlands. And it would have been really cool to drop him in the Operation Amber Sky DLC. Or if they were going to continue to drop Rainbow Six skins, that would have been really cool to see him.
They're saying
But
Finca. Finca is their counterpart.
Finka, yes, Finka. Thank you. Thank you. It's Finka.
Yeah, so you
So,
have a
yeah,
male and a female version of basically the same skin.
yeah, so I feel like they could have said, look, we got guys, we have Finka. Let's do something like Blackbeard or something else. But maybe they said to themselves, Blackbeard looks like, kind of like a cliche soldier that they can make themselves with the customization options. Let's do something else. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been cool to get Blackbeard.
Unknown Man says Ubi doesn't deserve Ghost Recon anymore. Honestly, and this is the thing too, is I think what's also hurting is there's no competition in this genre because nobody else is making this
Yep.
kind of game.
Yep.
And I've said it time and time again, if with the resources that they have and then like not trying to be like with consoles and stuff like that, but if Microsoft would have one of their like 23 plus studios that they have now make a third person tactical shooter, which it's not really in their not a popular genre compared to some of their other IPs and stuff, but and then you could release it on PC. I don't understand. This is sort of like getting into the realm of DayZ. You have all these other survival shooters that come out, but nobody did it. Like there's hundreds and thousands of problems with DayZ, and there's still problems with DayZ, but nobody was able to make an open world survival shooter like DayZ. Nobody could do it. There was always things that DayZ had that all these other games just didn't have, or they didn't do it right. Where is the company or studio that's going to come along and make something that could rival Ghost Recon or Socom, those style games?
Yeah, I don't, dude. I'm gonna assume that these publishers are looking at the numbers and they just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless it's a different time, a different era, and a lot of these dev teams are just not into the tax shooters.
Yeah.
It could very well be that, man.
We'll see. We'll see long term if Ghost Recon just, you know, it's definitely a different era. Like even the Grim Peanut, I miss the old days of Rainbow Six Vegas. Me too. Rainbow Six Vegas, even like Graw, Graw 1 and Graw 2 on the Xbox 360. That was the first game I ever bought for the Xbox 360 was Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. And I could literally just go into a multiplayer match and play on the map. What was it called? Nowhere, I think it was. It was like a desert map. I could literally go and play on that map from sun up to sundown and never get bored. You know, obviously that was the Xbox 360 was right after I bought the console. It was a brand new game that I'd never played anything like that before. It was my first trip into the online realm of online gaming. But Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, Rainbow Six Vegas, Rainbow Six Vegas 2, like it's a completely different era. You know, Rainbow Six Siege did well. It's very popular. It's one of the more popular like esports, you know, first person, I would almost call it like a first person tactical shooter. Um but I wanted a Rainbow Six Vegas 3, not this whatever it is, Rainbow Six Quarantine. But what do you do? There's a player base that they're going after out there, and it ain't us. Did you play the Rainbows? Did you play the original Rainbow Six games on PC? No, not the originals. My first one was Rainbow Six Vegas, the
My
first
first
one.
one was the Nintendo 64.
They had a Rainbow
And
Six game for the 64.
yeah, I played one on the 64 and I played one on the PS1. The
Yeah, I knew they had
64,
one on the PS1.
yeah, the Nintendo 64 one I played co-op. And on the 64, I mean, on the PlayStation 1, that was the one where you can tell your guys, like you set up before the mission and you say, okay, A, go this way, B, go this way, C, go this way, and then you start and then you move forward while your teammates move forward.
Yeah. Oh man, I just saw this. Somebody put it in the chat. Potter said Graw's co-op maps were something else as well, and I've talked about that multiple times.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wish I could get Graw 2 working on my PC. Like, there's an error code and I can't get it to boot up. Because some of those co-op missions that were from like, there was multiple ones from Ghost Recon 1, like the mission that Penguin, the mission that you were doing the other day, you can do that mission in Graw 2, and it runs a little bit smoother. It's a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit more modern-ish because that was obviously 4 or 5 iterations later. And then they had multiple co-op maps from Ghost Recon 1, Ghost Recon 2, Ghost Recon Island Thunder, multiple like missions from the main campaign of those games you could play in a co-op scenario. And it was really, really fun. Uh, Damar Hall says, imagine if Rainbow Six Patriots didn't get canceled after the numerous delays after their first and only gameplay trailer. It could have been something to play over and over again. Yep, and then it turned into Rainbow Six Siege. So, but it is actually creeping. It's almost 10:30. I hate to do this because there's currently 447 people in here, but I'm gonna have to start wrapping this up because I had to work on my birthday and I gotta work tomorrow. And yeah, but I will be putting up a post. I'll try to get it up as soon as the stream's over. But I'm going to be putting a post on the community tab of the YouTube channel. For those of you guys, if you go to my home page of the YouTube channel and you scroll up to the top, there's multiple tabs across the top. If you go to the community tab, there will be a post in there that's going to link you to a giveaway site. It's Gleam. And if you go over there and you follow the instructions, you'll be entered into a giveaway to be entered in to win the new ghillie suit as well as the M4A1 survival. I do have, I think, like eight codes to give away. Yeah, I have 8 more codes to give away. So just follow all those instructions. Like I said, I'll put that in the community tab and you guys can go over and check it out and get your chance to get one of those codes. Hopefully they do put the M4A1 survival in the store, so this isn't the only way to get it. That would be dumb if that's the only way that they do it. So
Penguin, brother.
But closing statements for the live stream. G Money, is this update the savior of Ghost Recon Breakpoint?
You know the answer to that. Absolutely not, guys. To take it for what it is. Go in game, have fun for a couple hours. Look forward to other things. This game cannot consume all of your gaming time and really all of your gaming needs. So whatever, I'm gonna have fun with it. I'll definitely play it, live stream it. I'll definitely buy a couple skins. Yeah, be a sucker. Give Ubisoft Paris some of my hard-earned money, and whatever. I make the most out of it. But yeah, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is going to do it for the live stream. I appreciate everybody tuning in for the birthday stream. It wasn't really a tactical roundtable. Not, I mean, it was close to a tactical roundtable. It wasn't exactly like a birthday stream because I wasn't actually allowed to stream this. For those of you guys that may have been wondering why you're staring at gameplay and you're not actually staring at like me streaming it, I can stream the video that I pre-recorded, but I couldn't live stream the content until the update comes out. So why, I don't know. But maybe for Operation Motherland we can get some stuff squared away. So maybe we can do a live stream early. Only time will tell. That's going to be between the devs and the community managers and all that stuff. So, but that is going to do it for the live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for all of the donations, all of the subs. We didn't get any new channel members, but hey, just the fact that you guys showed up and tuned in, gave your feedback, and kind of brainstormed and talked with everybody in the chat. That's always fun. So until next time, guys, take it easy, be safe, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which means everything's on the table. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.